watching. Hello, Moises, I see you there. You might notice that we have something different here today. I wonder what it could be. You might have noticed that our overlay here on the stream is a lot better looking, because I decided to take the time to finally sort out the mess that this overlay was. In case you didn't know, overlay is the whole thing here, like the TV around me, the, hazard stripes and all that. It was a fucking mess that I just kind of pieced together on OBS, and today I fixed it. And now it's a single file instead of like several. In OBS there were several little lines. Every individual line was a different object in OBS, was taking up space in the memory. So I fixed that. So once again, hello and welcome, whoever you are, wherever you're watching from, or whenever you're watching this stream, to our daily Limbus Company Mirror Dungeon, ID study, and book reading. Today, we have something rather, not that interesting, but still very. We are going to be reviewing the entirety of the Limbus Company base sinners and their eagles by extension. It's part of them. In other words, we're not going to be using any fancy eagles, we're not going to be using any support IDs, and we're not going to be using anything else other than what the game gives us. That's right, just the base sinners, just the base eagles. It's nice since we pretty much ran out of IDs to review. That's right, we've seen every single one of them, every single team, every single individual character, all revealed, some to different degrees of quality here and there, of course, but all of them have been successfully revealed. How do I know this? They're all level 60, because I'm not going to reveal an ID that is not at max level. So since all of them are now level 60 with no exceptions, every single ID has been revealed. And so we take a moment to take a step back and look at the base sinners. Of course, don't expect them to be some hidden super powerful gens that you've been missing out all this time. No, they are quite capable, but they're not super duper extra mega blaster powerful. In other words, let's get on with it. Now, I did change the sound effects, the sound for subscribers and followers on Twitch and YouTube. I do not know how loud it will be. This is something we're gonna have to discover over time. Now, let's get down with it. Starting off with Yiseng. LCB Sinner Yiseng, 221 HP, 4 to 8 speed, 58 defense level, frail against spears, resistant against spears, and frail against slash. Hello, acidic trauma. He possesses the sin of gloom, envy, sloth, and a gloom block. His passive is information relay. At 4 gloom resonance, we apply 1 damage up to 2 allies placed after this unit on the dashboard. And since he's quite a fast fellow, it's very likely that he'll go first. Skill 1 skill 1 deflect. 4 base power with a 7 coin power with a singular coin, slash gloom, 60 offense level, attack rate of 1, and it inflicts 2 sinking. 4 and a 7, this is a 11 roller. As you can see, this is baseline skill 1. But it has no escalation. For comparison, to keep things fair, if we look at House of Spiders Yiseng, do you know how much he rolls? That's right, he also rolls an 11. But he has 2 coins, and so he hits twice the enemy. He also rolls an 11, but he has, escalation based on poise and sing. So base Yiseng has no escalation in his skill 1, but still rolls a 11, but it hits 1. Following up with skill 2, End Stop Stab, which is 4 base power, 4 coin power, 2 coins, Pierce, Envy with a 60 offense level, attack weight of 1, inflicts 1 sinking count, and 2 sinking potency. 444, this skill is a 12 roller. Now that is way below a average skill 2. As to be expected, this is a 0 skill ID, literally the baseline sinner. Finally, skill 3 and jump, which is 6 base power, 2 coin power with 3 coins, 60 offense level, attack weight of 1, slash, inflicts 3 sinking potency, and if the enemy has no sanity left, inflicts 1 fragile. With a 6 base power and 2 coin power, this skill can only roll a max of a 12. Pretty much the same as his skill 2. So this is a fairly weak unit. Now, this is not going to be the case for every single unit, mind you. Yiseng is just weak. He's not, you know, a fighter. He's a lover, he's a writer, he's a strange little gremlin that lives in his goon cave in his book. But right now, he is a sinner, and a sinner he will remain. He has 7 base power on his guard with 3 coin power with no effects and no extra defense level. Now, Yiseng's ability here on the team, his main thing is the fact that he can inflict sinking, which is, you know, very important against enemies with sanity, and his ego, which we're gonna look at it right now. Crow's Eye View at uptime 4. Crow's Eye View has 18 base power with a 6 coin power, Pierce single coin, Sloth with a 56 offense level, which is quite weak, but it has 3 powerful effects. It inflicts attack power down, it inflicts bind, and it applies haste to all allies on hit. This is not an ego you're going to be using for clashing because he has lower offense level than he has on his base skills. Remembering, offense level directly affects our clashing ability, and this one has lower than the base skills. You are using this one-sidedly on a one-sided attack because on hit it applies true attack power down right now on this turn. What does that mean, G4? That means if Yiseng is the first one to go, which usually he is, he will hit the enemy and the enemy will receive a -2 on every roll he does. His passive is Silence. When hit next turn, he gains 3 bind and deals 20% more damage when attacking with an attack type or affinity the target is weak or fatal to against once per turn. So what does Yiseng offer us? He offers us an ego that weakens the enemy, makes the enemies lower, make all of us faster, and his passive on a Gloom Resonance gives 10% damage to true allies adjacent after him on the dashboard. Since he is quite a fast boy, he will usually be the first one, but there is someone that is faster than him. We shall be seeing her soon. But right now, we're gonna move on to Faust. Now, we have used base Faust many times in our mirror dungeons here because of her excellent support passive. Now, base Faust has 258 HP. That is a lot of HP. Compared to Yiseng, who has 221. She has 2 to 4 speed, so she's not the fastest. Has 61 defense level. Sorry, I always get the two mixed up. She is resistant to pierce, but weak to slash. She possesses the Saying of Pride, Sloth, and Gloom with a Pride evade. Her passive is Analytic Eye. With 2 Pride Resonance, she deals 10% more damage to units that have a negative status effect. Again, another resonance, but a very simple one to get, and one that she can fuel herself. Skill 1, Downward Slash. 4 base power, 7 coin power, blunt. I can't help but I can't help but laugh, but come on, it's called Downward Slash and it deals blunt damage. Alright, Downward Slash, blunt damage. 4 base power, 7 coin power, 59 offense level, attack rate of 1, and inflicts a single instance of paralyze, which is very nice for skill 1. It's a classic 11 roller, however, she has no escalation. Again, escalation is very important later on, but all other units of base, I don't think any LCB unit has escalation of any kind. In any case, Downward Slash inflicts blunt damage, 11 roller. Skill 2, Upward Slash. This one also deals blunt damage because apparently she doesn't know how to use her sword. It deals 5 base damage with 4 coin power, 2 coins, Sloth, 59 offense level, attack rate of 1, and it inflicts 3 offense level down next turn. With 5 base power and 4 coin power and 2 coins, we have in our hands a 13 roller. Again, well below the average that we have seen for skills 2, which is usually 16. No escalation again, but it inflicts of 3 offense level down next turn, and there is no limits to how many times it can do that. And as I have explained several times, for every 3 levels of offense level, every 3 difference in offense levels during a clash, the fighter with the highest offense level gains 1 clash power per 3 offense level down. So by hitting the enemy with this attack, we are removing already 1 clash power from the enemy. And we are also lowering the damage he's able to do. Very nice, very good. Let's check the skill 3. Drilling Stab. Now, this one actually deals the correct damage type, which is Pierce. It has a 7 base power, 2 coin power with 2 coins. With 722, we have in our hands a 11 roller. I don't even have to say anything about it because 11 row is on the skill tree is kind of pathetic, especially because we have offense level 59, but it's redeemed by its effects. On a heads hit and on hit on the second coin, it inflicts 1 attack power down to the enemy. So if we compound this with the Ego from Yi Sang, we could potentially have the enemy have 4 attack power down, which is quite good. As you can see, the Limbus company cast kind of relies on debuffing the enemies, but we have some heavy hitters in our team as well. Don't you forget about that. We're gonna get to Honglu, we're gonna get to Heathcliff, and so on. Her defense is an evade. It has 2 base power and 10 coin power at 12 with a 61 defense level. It is quite weak for evade, but better than nothing. Her ego now. Representation Emitter, a classic that was nerfed because it was too powerful. It has a 19 base power with 4 coin power, rolling up to 23. Has a 57 offense level, but an attack weight of 3. After the end of the attack, we heal 12 sanity for 4 allies with the least SP. Now this is the important bit, because having our allies be on high sanity increases our odds of winning clashes. Her passive is, if the enemy is staggered during this unit's attack, apply 2 SP heal efficiency next turn to the ally that has the least SP 3 times per turn. In other words, her ego is entirely made to be supportive, to give everyone sanity. And who the hell is that? I never noticed that. It has... I wonder who that is. That is the extraction chamber, sort of. Is that Faust or is that another Faust or is that someone else? In any case. Of course, this ego takes a little bit of a backseat compared to other egos she has in terms of sanity heals, such as Fluid Sac, which just regenerated 15 SP for all allies and also heals them. And we have the head's attack, that's 25 SP. More than halfway of our sanity healed in a single go. But it requires more resources, and this one is fueled exclusively by her own skills. Moving on to Dawn. As you can notice, they don't have a lot of flavor to them, but they are still quite good, trust me. We're gonna see that in the dungeon today. Don Quixote, LCB Sinner, the creature herself with support. She has 203 HP, which is less than Yi Sang, 3 to 6 speed, which is again less than Yi Sang, but she is faster than Yi Sang, and you will see why. She has 58 defense level. She's resistant to pierce, but weak against blunt. Possesses the sin of lust, envy, and gluttony. Her passive is Righteous Retribution. She deals 10% more damage when she wins the clash, but it only activates on a tree, Lust Resonance. Her skill 1 is right that, Lust, with a 4 base power and a 7 coin power with a single coin, Pierce, with a 62 offense level and a single attack weight. This is an 11 roller with no escalation, and when she wins the clash, she gains 2 haste, becoming faster. Skill 2, Galloping Tilt, has 4 base power and 12 coin power with a pierce damage, envy, 62 defense offense level, and attack weight of 1. This is a 16 roller. Finally, we got a skill 2 that is baseline with the IDs themselves, but it is a singular coin and does not possess any escalation. She inflicts 2 bleed if it hits heads, and if she wins a clash, she gains 2 attack power up next turn. So we might not have escalation for coin power, but certainly we have attack power up or a way on the other IDs to debuff our enemies. Following up to skill 3 for Justice. Someone is a victim of the crabs. For Justice, 3 base power with a 3 coin power and 3 coins. Pierce, Gluttony, 62 offense level, and attack weight of 1. 3. This is a 12 roller, as of course this is kind of pathetic, but hold on. What is this that my eyes peep over here? We have escalation, and quite a powerful one at that. Coin power plus 2 at 10 plus speed. Coin power plus 2 makes the skill a little bit more powerful, becoming a 15, 19, No, 18 roller. Still well below what a skill tree for other IDs is capable of doing, but hey, I'm not gonna diss on true coin power just by having 10 speed. And since we gain haste with our skill 1, we're very likely to be very fast, and we have a lot of skill 1s. On heads hit, for both the first coins we inflict 1 bleed, and on the third one we inflict a bleed, 2 bleed count. Because she's a vampire, as you may be aware. Spoilers, whoops. Her evade is the same as Faust. It has true base power with a 10 coin power. It's quite weak, it's quite pathetic, but we shall make do with whatever we have. Now, her ego, La Sangre de Sancho. It's a surprise for us now. It was a surprise for us then, but now it's not. And we have here, you know, foreshadowing. Yep. It has a 12 base power with a 14 coin power, making it a 26 roller. Very powerful. It inflicts 8 bleed potency and heals by 50% of the damage dealt. Her passive is Immoderate Passion. On hit, if the target has bleed, she heals 3 HP with no limits of how many times she can do that. Crabs be hitting other crabs and here confused. That's their passive. They're crabs in a bucket and they're pulling people, the brethren apart. Now, continuing on to Ryoshu. Ryoshu with her funny sword, which is not present on her art for some reason. Ryoshu, the Kansha Star. She has 203 HP, same as Dawn, 3 to 6 speed, 56 defense level, which is quite low, resisting against slash but fatal against blunt, possessing the scene of gluttony, lust, pride, and gluttony evade. Her skill, her passive is Indiscriminate Art. She is at 3 gluttony resonance, she deals and takes 25% more damage, which is pretty damn nice. However, she is quite fragile, keep that in mind. Skill 1, Paint, has 4 base power, 7 coin power, a singular coin, slash gluttony with a 62 offense level, and it gains 2 poison next turn. Nothing to talk about here, 11 power, no escalation. Does she always have the Tianxia star tag? No, she gains it after Canto 9. Nothing to talk about this skill here, no escalation, no nothing, just 2 critical chance, and a single critical. Skill 2, Splatter, has 4 base power, 5 coin power, 2 coins, slash lust, 62 offense level, and a singular attack weight. If the target previously took damage this turn, she deals 30% more damage with the first coin. And if the target previously took damage this turn, adds another 30% on the second coin. So we are attacking someone that has already been attacked. With 4 base power and 5 coin power and 2 coins, we have in our hands a 14 roller, 2 power down from a average skill 2. Hello there, your typical gamer. I do read the ID descriptions. I read them all. That is the entire point of these streams. All the IDs I use, I will look at them in quite detail, and we're looking at all the base IDs today. So welcome. In any case, skill 3, Brushstroke. Now, Ryoshu is quite powerful. I'll tell you what. She's not the best of characters, but she has some pretty good damage ups. Brushstroke has 5 base power, 3 coin power, 3 coins, slash pride, 62 offense level, singular attack weight. On combat start, she gains 2 slash damage up, and on hit, she gains 2 poise next turn. Her defense is an evade, same as Faust, same as Dawn, 2 base power, 10 coin power. Not great, not bad either. It's good. It's better to have an evade than to have nothing at all. Now, something about Ryoshu here that is very fun is the fact that her skill 3 gives her 20 damage up, and there's no limits on how many times you can do that. If you're running a solo with Ryoshu and she has 3 of these equipped, she's gonna get like a 60% damage up. That is really good, and that's on top of this that you can get if you target the same guy, and Paint just gives her poise, which is still additional damage. Her ego, Forest for the Flames, 18 base power with a 10 coin power, a 28 roller. It inflicts 6 burn, fragile, and if it's a head stick, that's another fragile, giving an enemy a 20% damage weakness against all hits, which is quite good. And her passive is simple. Deal and take 5% damage for every enemy this unit defeated last turn. Which is, you know, kind of okay. If you're running a solo with her, however, and she is, you know, slashing and cutting and whacking and smacking, she's gonna ramp up her damage pretty damn nicely. All right, moving on to the next one. Her is our damage dealer. Merso, the autist, the man, the funny guy that shot an Arab 5 times in the beach and really liked his girlfriend. He has 276 HP, 2 to 3 speed, 6 to 3 defense level, weak to blunt but fatal against spears, possessing the sin of sloth, pride, gloom, and a sloth block. His passive is staunchness on Chu own sloth. At less than 50% HP, he gains 1 protection at the start of the combat phase. So he has 10% damage reduction when he's on low health. Skill 1. 1 Chu in French. 3 base power, 4 coin power, 2 coins, blunt sloth with a 57 offense level, and an attack weight of 1. 344, we already know this song and dance. It's an 11 roller, but has no escalation, unfortunately. And with a 57 offense level, he has 1 less clash power against enemies with a 60 offense level, and enemies usually have more than that in the mirror dungeon. So this is quite bad, but he is a tank, so has a high defense level. He inflicts 1 tremor, and then inflicts another one. 1 Chu. For his skill 2, Nailing Fist, he has 6 base power with a 9 coin. Single coin, blunt, pride, 57 offense level again, a single attack weight. This is a 15 roller, which is again 1 number lower than our average skill 2s, but with this 57 offense level, it is quite weak. On use, however, he gains 3 defense power up next turn, and it triggers Tremor Burst. Now, this defense power up is very nice, it's 3, but his defense is, it's a block. You know how blocks are. Finally, his skill 3, the Scoop, so punching, I think that means in French, has a 4 base power with 2 coin powers and 4 coins. With all those coins with 2 coin power, he is rolling a nice 12. It's not great, but he's supposed to be a tank. And that was before the conception of a aggro, which if we ever have if we ever get Sinner up type 5, he will most likely have aggro. Now, he gains 3 protection next turn, so that's 30% damage reduction. He inflicts tremor, and then 2 tremor count. Finally, his defense is a simple guard, same defense level as his base defense level, 10 base power with 3 coin at 13, that can be upgraded to a 16, and how many times you use this defense power up. One thing that we will notice here is that all of these IDs do not have a lot of say, you can only do this once per turn or twice per turn. As long as you keep using the skill, you keep stacking that shit. You can keep stacking that shit with no remorse. And so this leads me to believe that Limbus Company is mostly focused on I forgot his ego. Mostly focused on deploying less sinners, because the base sinners, they benefit more by having more slots, because all of their stuff keeps stacking on top of each other. So the more slots they have, the more they can play to their strength, the more freedom they have to do that. Now, his ego, let's go check it out, is Chains of Others. Infamous ego. Very useful for dealing with bosses. To this day, it is still unmatched in its debuff capabilities. Chains of Others rolls a 19 base with a 3 coin power, hitting at 22, still with a 57 offense level. It inflicts 5 bind and 4 attack power down next turn, while he himself gains 3 bind and 3 attack power down next turn, as well as 2 protection. And with his amazing speed of 2 to 3, he is going to be locked at the slowest of the team after using this. But you know what? So is the boss. With 4 attack power down, and together with whatever we can apply from, say, Faust over here, with her skill 3, which is next turn as well, we can compound these 2 together to inflict a whopping -6 on the enemy, or whoever the unfortunate being that we hit with this is. Now, his passive is very simple. He gains 30% damage reduction if he's staggered by 3 or more skill. Again, he's a tank before the concept of aggro was added to the game, which he will very likely get when we have a uptide 5 for IDs. Let's move on to Honglu. Honglu is a strong one. As expected of the China boy here, he has 203 HP, 3 to 6 speed, 58 defense level, fatal to slash, weak resistance against blunt, possessing the sins of pride, sloth, and lust with a sloth evade. His skill passive is entertainment, which is on a true sloth resonance. He heals 6 SP next turn. He healed, no one else. Now, this is very funny because entertainment, when we didn't know his story, was like, he's having fun, he's, you know, having a good time here in Limbus Company, and now we know better. Skill 1, Downward Cleave. 4 base power, 7 coin power, single coin, blunt, pride, 62 offense level with attack weight of 1, and inflicts 2 sinking. 11 roller, no escalation. Skill 2, Dual Strike. 4 base power, 4 coin power, 2 coins, slash sloth with 62 offense level, single attack weight. And what is this? An escalation? If the user took no damage last turn, he gains coin power plus 1. So this skill can roll up to 12, which is below average for skill 2, as we already know. But with his escalation of 1 coin power if he took no damage, and this is a fun conditional, he gains 1 coin power, so this becomes a 14 roller, still below average, but workable. He inflicts true sinking and true rupture. He's a sinking rupture guy, and I think he's like one of there's 2 units that inflict sinking on the base team. And finally we have his skill tree, Whirlwind, with a 6 base power and 4 coin power with 2 coins, blunt, lust with a 62 offense level and attack weight of 1. Why does it do blunt damage when he's using a sharpened pole weapon? I don't know, but here we are. It is a 14 roller. Again, well below what this ID can do. But same conditional as the other one. If the user took no damage last turn, he gains a coin power of 2, turning this skill into a 666. Very cursed number, but good for us because it is a 18 roller. Still well below what other IDs can do, but he also inflicts attack power down on the enemy and sinking and rupture. So this attack power down is effective immediately. It's not next turn. So if Honglu hits someone with his skill tree and he hits heads, which is very likely to hit because of his passive and ability to regenerate sanity on a sloth resonance, enemy loses true power. And as you can see, we are really banking on debuffing the enemy. The LCB team is a little bit more tactical because they really don't have the numbers, the base numbers and escalation to clash against something more powerful. It is possible, but it's going to be difficult, and you are going to have to accept some sacrifices if you try to run them against something, say, like Leihang. It's possible to beat him, yes, but you're going to have to hit the Leihang with a few unopposed attacks because you really don't stand a chance clashing against him. So you can apply the power downs that many of our sinners here offer. His defense is the same as Ryoshu and Don Quixote, a 2 base power with a 10 coin power, 12 roller. Nothing to say about that. There's no special effects, there is nothing. His ego, however, let's take a look. Land of Illusion, 15 base power with a 10 coin power, 25. Blunt Gloom with a 60 offense level and 3 attack weight. At the end of the attack, he heals 15 SP. And on hit, he inflicts 5 sinking and attack end next turn, -2 SP loss efficiency to all allies, -2 to amount of SP loss from Ego U. Now, this is an interesting one because he is healing 15 SP, but he's making everyone in your team depressed. In other words, every time they use No, sorry, I got it confused. It doesn't make everyone depressed. It just makes them lose less SP from consuming. So you're gonna use this before you hit the enemy with your Ego Blast. Now, let's take a look at this image here. What do we see here? There is a guy, a decapitated guy over here. This looks like blood pouring out of it. Lots of gold, lots of money. Here we have the Hong Yuan. Very nice. Welcome, old pet meme. How are you doing? His passive is Ripple. Combat start, he healed. This unit has absolute resonance. SP for the ally that has the least SP, excluding allies in panic. So, upon activation of our Land of Illusion, not only he heals the SP he lost from using his Ego, which I do believe it is 15, he immediately heals it, He also makes everyone consume less sanity from using eagles, and on the passive active, he regenerates SP for all allies during his highest resonance that he is a part of. Very nice. Let's move on to the second tier of sinners, or the back of the bus here. Sorry. Why are you disappointed, or meme? Do tell. Right, moving on to Heathcliff. Heathcliff here is a bit of a beast, I'll tell you what. I used him several times before and he's quite powerful. Heathcliff here has 239 HP, 2 to 5 speed, 60 defense level. He is resistant against blunt, but fatal against slash. He possesses the sin of envy, wrath, lust, and a counter, envy counter. You know, alluding to the fact that we're going to become a big brother here, but whatever. His passive is resentment. On a 4 envy resonance, he deals 10% damage to targets that have higher max HP. A bit of a weird conditional for 10% more damage, and he requires a 4 envy resonance. This is, you know, strange to say the least. But 10% more damage, 10% more damage, boring, but still. Skill 1, Buck Bash. 4 base power, 7 coin power, single coin, blunt envy with a 60 offense level and attack weight of 1. On hit, it inflicts 3 tremor. Classic, basic 11 roller, but no escalation here, doesn't make this anything special. Skill 2, Smackdown, and now we're getting into why he's really strong. Smackdown has 4 base power, 4 coin power, 2 coins, blunt, wrath, 60 offense level, attack weight of 1. On use, not on hit, not on clash win. On use, he gains 1 attack power up and 1 damage up next turn. There is no limit to how many times you can activate this. If you're running a solo with Heathcliff and he has all of his skill 1s replaced by skill 2s, every time he uses this, he's gaining a +1 next turn and 10% more damage. If you use this 10 times, which is very possible, you are going to do double damage and gaining 10 plus on all your rolls. Oh baby, yes. In any case, it inflicts 2 tremor. Nothing to talk about here. With a 4 base power and 4 coin power, we have in our hands a 12 roller, which again powers itself up. And finally, the skill 3. Upheaval. 4 base power with 8 coin power, 2 coins, blunt, lust with a 60 offense level and attack weight of 1. 488, this is a 16, this is a 20 roller. This is our highest rolling skill tree so far, a 20. And if heads hit, the next coin has true power and it triggers Tremor Burst. So this goes up to 22 on the final hit. He is really powerful, don't sleep on it. And finally, his counter is a 11 roller. It's the same as skill 1, but it doesn't inflict Tremor, and you get to hit the enemy for free if they hit you. The only thing we have to be really careful is the fact that you have to do this solo with him. Right, his ego, Body Sack. Now, let's pay attention to this. And he is really strong. Like, I would say he's, in terms of combat power, he's the strongest of the Space Sinners. Together with the skill 2 that gives an attack power up, we have his ego that on hit gives an attack power up of 1, on hit gains 3 haste, and on kill that's 2 another attack power up. And it does not stop there, because his passive is when another ally defeats an enemy, he gains 1 attack power up and 1 haste at the start of the next turn, maximum of 3. It rolls a 15 plus 9, which is to a 24, one of the highest rolling eagles of the base sinners as well. And it just powers him up like crazy, because if he managed to score a kill with this and it's a single coin, that's 3 power up, baby, which whatever you manage to use with skill 2s as well. He just compounds strength on top of strength on top of strength. He is quite a good ID. Of course, he has no escalation outside of gaining attack power like that, but incredibly powerful for a base ID. Moving on to Ishmael. Oh boy, Ishmael. Ishmael is not very good, I'll tell you that much. Ishmael has 239 HP, 5 to 8 speed, so she's quite a speedy lass. 60 defense level, she is resistant against blunt, but fatal against slash. Possesses the sin of wrath, gluttony, and gloom with a wrath guard. All of her skills are single coin, which is quite bad, I'll tell you what. Unless that coin has super crazy conditionals for dealing more damage, single coin is usually considered kinda bad. I will explain why. Every coin that you use hits the enemy to do damage. The more coins you have, the more times you hit the enemy, the more damage you do, even though it is escalating, because you hit the first coin, bam, and then you hit the second coin, you add another coin of power, bam, third coin, bam, so on and so forth. In her case, everything is a single roll, and so she's more likely to lose a clash because of her 5%. But let's take a look at her first. Passive. Last Ditch Struggle. Tree Owned Wrap. At less than 25% HP, she gains 1 clash power in a clash. This one's pretty nice, it's automatic. If she's struggling, she can gain extra clash power. It's not a power up, it's just clash power, so no more damage. Her first skill is Loggerhead. 4 base power, 7 coin power, single coin, blunt, wrath, 59 offense level, attack weight of 1. On hit, it inflicts a singular tremor count. This is a 11 roller with no escalation. Skill 2, Slide, has 6 base power, 9 coin power, single coin, blunt, gluttony with a 59 offense level and a single attack weight. 6 plus 9, that is a 15. We're getting close to a skill 2 level here, but not quite there. Again, single coin, not that powerful. On a Clash Wing, it inflicts 3 defense power down, which is, as we have seen before, not quite good, and it inflicts 3 tremor potency. Finally, her skill 3. Shield Bash rolls 8 base power, 12 coin power with a single coin, blunt gloom with a 59 offense level and an attack weight of 1. This rolls up to a 20, no escalation, and it triggers Tremor Burst. Especially this Tremor Burst does not lower the tremor count on the enemy, and inflicts a singular blunt fragility, which is 10% more damage against blunt attacks. I really want to complete my middle team, though I have Skira, Ishmael, Ricardo, Heathcliff, and Little Brother Merso. Look, completing the team would be nice, but you can roll with just Don Quixote and Merso if you have them. I have done so before. They are quite good by themselves. It's nice to complete the team if you can, go for it, but don't feel like I need these or else the team won't work. And yes, we are getting OTs soon. Anyway, her Ego, Snag Harpoon, has 19 base power with a 4 coin power, rolling a 23, blunt, gloom, 56 offense level. Targets the rearmost unit in regular encounters. It inflicts 6 bind next turn, inflicts 3 tremor, and triggers Tremor Burst. Nothing's too crazy to write home about here, no special effects, just makes the enemy really slow and, pops tremor on them if you're really a group that uses tremor. Her passives is Composement. In a clash, if ring rate is favored or above, she gains clash power +2. If the ring rate is struggling or below, she loses clash power, which is quite weird, but still, if you're, favored, you become dominating because you gain 2 more power. Very self-centered skill, it's all your fault. Where's Moby Dick? Man, it must suck to live in her room. You were literally just flooding all the time, man. What is he even hitting with her harpoon here? I wonder if these was like torture chambers that put the sinners in to get their egos to activate. Anyway, moving on to Rhodia. Rhodia. We are reading your book right now, and Rhodia, you are a strange, conflicted creature, aren't you? Right. She has 239 HP, 2 to 5 speed, 60 defense level, resistant against slash, weak against pierce, possessing the sins of gluttony, pride, and wrath with a wrath counter. Her passive skill is Split Evil. On hit, she inflicts 1 bleed at 50% chance. Yeah, they were still trying to understand how the game works back then, so 50% chance for 1 bleed is kind of garbage. But it's a base ID, so it's an extra bleed. There could be better things, but still. Skill 1, Strike Down. 4 base power, 7 coin power, single coin / gluttony with a 60 offense level, and on hit it is 2 bleed. 11 roller, no escalation, moving on. Axe Combo. 4 base power, 4 coin power, 2 coins / pride, 60 offense level, single attack weight. 4, 4, 4, that's a 12 roller. power below an average skill true. On hit, that's true bleed potency, and again, another bleed potency, and if he hits head, that's another a single bleed count. Now, skill tree. Let's see here. Skill tree, 4 base power with 2 coin power and 4 coins. Ooh, that looks chunky, doesn't it? It's a shame it isn't. It has a slash wrath with a 60 offense level. With 4 coin powers of true power, we have in our hands 8 coin power. With a 4 base power, that rolls a 12, which is quite unfortunate. It's skill power +1 when we're below 0 SP, which is, you know, Rhodia, come on. Skill power +1 when below 0 SP. Thank you. You're not a negative coin ID, you know. In any case, all of her coins inflict +1 bleed, and if the target has 6+ bleed, we deal 20% more damage with the final hit. This is one of the most useless escalation power bonus I've ever seen, especially because the skill has such a low coin power and it's not a negative ID. Maybe in the future she'll get something better than this, but this is quite bad. Finally, we have her counter, which is a 7 base power with 4 coin power, single coin. It is a 11 roller, much like his skill 1, but it does not apply any bleed. Her ego, what is cast, is a 15 base power with a 13 coin power, rolling a nice 28. If the target has 50% more HP, 50% HP, deals 30% more damage. It inflicts 4 bleed, and on hit she gains 2 HP heal efficiency and gains 2 SP loss efficiency. Which means she recovers more SP, but I'm fairly sure she loses more SP. Not entirely sure about that. This is a very rare effect. We don't really see it used very often, so I don't have a lot of exposure to it. Anyway, her passive from this is just +1 SP heal efficiency and -1 SP loss efficiency. Which I think she heals more SP and loses less SP, I'm not entirely sure here. In any case, that is Rhodia. There is really not that much special about her. I'm sorry, Rhodia, but you are not that special. Sorry. What's special, however, is that amazing, humongous 20% damage with heads coins. That is very special. Holy shit. Anyway, moving on to Sinclair, the little German boy, with 184 HP, 3 to 7 speed, a 56 defense level, weak against pierce but resistant against slash. With that low HP and 56 defense level, he is a very frail Victorian era child coughing in the streets as he has black lung from living near the factories. He is dying very quickly. But maybe his skills can compensate for that. Let's take a look. His passive is Luckiness. With 3 owned pride, when an ally is defeated, he gains 1 attack power up next turn. Yes, that's right. You kill an ally, get 1 attack power up. A singular attack power up that only works for a single turn. Oh well, it's better than nothing. It's literally 3 owned pride, but there could be better passives here, little German boy. But still, skill 1, downward swing. 4 base power with a 7 coin power. Slash pride, 63 offense level, and inflicts true rupture. Now, 63 offense level is quite nice considering his lower defense level, which means he has an extra clash power if he clashes with someone of the same level with 60 offense level. His skill 2, Halberd Combo, has 4 base power with 2 coin power, 3 coins, Slash Wrath with a 63 offense level, and a special on Clash Wing plus 30% more damage. However, with a 4 base power and 2 coin power, we have in our hands a 10 roller. This rolls 10. So you're very unlikely to win any clashes with this, but we're still gonna try because 30% more damage is quite mighty. Skill 3, Ravaging Cut. It has 5 base power with a 3 coin power, 3 coins, Slash Envy with a 63 offense level, and a unique Clash Win gain 1 attack power up, which will immediately affect his skill on hitting the enemy. Now this is very interesting. Now, with 5 base power and 3 coin power, we have in our hands a 11 roller. He is not only weak in terms of health and defense level, he also very weak in terms of clash power. He's very much a child. He is literally pathetic. But if he wins with his clash, he inflicts attack power up, and he is able to inflict 3 rupture potency, which is immediately consumed by the previous attack. So he hits with the first one, applies 1 rupture. Second one, he hits, deals 1 damage from the rupture, applies another one. And with the third, he does the same thing with the previous rupture, and so on and so forth. You are pathetic, I hate you, let's see your defense. It's a counter. It rolls 11 and does nothing else, but has a 63 offense level. Now, his Eagle, Branch of Knowledge. Now, this one is a little bit more interesting. With a 14 base power and a 15 coin power, this rolls a 29. We're getting very close to a 30 damage here. On head's hit, we inflict 12 rupture. 12 rupture potency, very nice. On head's hit, he loses 10 SP, but gains 1 attack power up next turn, which is quite nice. And on tail's hit, he gains 10 SP and gains 1 protection next turn. So if we hit heads, we lose more sanity from using this, but in next we get 1 attack power up next turn. And if we hit tails, we gain 10 SP, kind of recovering what we lost from using the Eagle, but we also gain a single life protection. His passive is Unstable. If a coin hits with a different side from the previous coin of the same skill, it loses 5 SP and gains 1 damage up this turn, 3 times per turn. So, our little German boy here, as he fumbles his coins, he starts gaining more damage, up to 30%, which is still not great, because we want to hit heads to deal our maximum damage. Now let's take a look at his Eagle here. We have leaves, we have him sitting on a chair, why I don't know, his family on the background eating a chicken even though they have no mechanical heads, and we have an apple. I don't know what the apple is doing here, or if this is a light bulb, but it's a very strange light bulb. It kind of eye-catching to not be a light bulb, and considering that his whole thing is like the snake in the Garden of Eden here, this is probably symbolic. Alright, that reminds me, we didn't look at Rhodius' Eagle. Let's take a look at that real quick, shall we? It's already been an hour since we're talking here, but we're already at the end. Here's Rhodia. Here's she tossing her coin. Here's the massacre that the middle caused because of her. And a lot of little statuettes broken. Now, we're gonna get to the why she has a bloody axe and why she feels so guilty on her book soon enough. And I remember the book, I've read the book before, so it's gonna be interesting. Let's get to Otis. We are here. There she is. The lady herself, the professional bootlicker, the face of the Hag movement on Twitter. Refiring a dying star is possible. Here we are. 184 health. She has a singular health point above. No, she has the same health as Sinclair. Do forgive her, she's very old. She has 3 to 7 speed, 56 offense level. She is fatal against blunt and resistant against slash. Possesses the same of sloth, of pride, and gloom with a sloth evade. Her passive is Executor. If the target SP is below 0, she deals 10% more damage, which is very nice. Skill 1, Pulled Blade. Has 3 base power, 2 coin power, 3 coins, with the Pierce, Sloth, and a 63 offense level. 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. This makes it a 9 roller. Oh boy, Otis, this is a bit embarrassing, isn't it? A 9 roller. 9 roller is 2 powers below the baseline for skill 1s. This is quite bad, but it inflicts 3 rupture and it does have a 63 offense level. Let's forget this one exists and use defense instead when we see this, right? Skill 2, Backslash, or some people will call this backshot. 5 base power with a 4 coin power, 2 coins, slash pride, 63 offense level, and if she's faster than the target, much like Ryoshu, she deals 20% more damage with both her coins. With a 5 base power and 4 coin power, we have in our hands a nice 13 roller, which is 3 levels of power below a skill 2. Average, no escalation whatsoever. Skill 3, Piercing Trust, has a 7 base power with a 14 coin power. Pierce Gloom with a 63 offense level, a singular attack weight. If the target HP is above 50%, she deals 20% more damage and inflicts a singular rupture count. 7 plus 14, that is a 21 roller, which is not bad at all. However, everything else is quite... I will say this is not quite good here. Oh, this, you're really not doing yourself too much favors here, which is funny considering you're supposed to be one of the strongest sinners on the buzz in terms of pure power level, according to Hohenheim. Her defense, much like Dawn, Ryosho, and others able to evade, is a 2 base power with a 10 coin power at 12. Her ego, to Paphos Maphos, has 20 base power with a 3 coin power. That's a pretty high base power, so even at low sanity, it's quite capable of clashing. It deals Spear Sprite damage. If the target has less than 50% HP, she deals 30% more damage. It inflicts 4 Rupture, and on kill, she gives 10% damage up to a random ally. Her passive is Tactical Perfection. She gains 1 damage up next turn if this unit isn't hit during a turn, and she gains 1 more damage up with every consecutive turn this unit isn't hit, which is quite nice. Let's take a look at her ego art. Here we have the smoke war in the background. Here we have the staff of Caduceus, which is, you know, a symbol for medicine, although it has been co-opted from the original symbol, if you don't know that. This one is for Hermes specifically, which is the god of commerce and travelers, and not the god of medicine. She got her funny gunblade here, which is, you know, it is a mix of a Greek blade whose name escapes me and just a flintlock. And the rest of, you know, these people that got turned in probably the Trojan horse she's gonna use. Here we have the staff of Hermes again on the background. And I think she has something to do with the index, I'm pretty sure. In any case. All right. Finally, we get to Gregor. Gregor, me boy. SpongeBob, me boy. He has 221 HP, 3 to 7 speed, 60 defense level, fatal to blunt, and resistant against fears. He has the sins of gloom, gluttony, and sloth with a gloom block. His passive is forced survival. He heals 5 HP at the start of the combat phase. His skill 1 is swipe, 4 to 7, 11 roller, no escalation, slash gloom with a 59 offense level, and it inflicts 4 rupture. Skill 2, Jag, has 5 base power, 10 coin power, single coin, pierce gluttony with a 59 offense level, attack weight of 1. This is a 15 roller. It's 1 power below our average for skill 2, but it is a single coin, so we have to be careful with that. On hit, he inflicts 1 rupture count, 1 pierce fragility, and rupture on heads hit, which is quite powerful. Rupture count here is welcome, since a lot of these seniors can't do shit. Skill 3 is Chop Up. 6 base power with 4 coin power, true coins, pierce slot, a 59 offense level. 644, we got in our hands a 14 roller, which is pathetic. If the target has rupture, he deals more damage, and on the second hit, same thing, and he heals for 30% of the damage dealt. His defense is a guard that has 8 base power and a 3 coin power, rolling up to 12. His ego... thank you for the follow, Juanito. That is much appreciated. Also, how loud was that? How loud was that? Because I have changed the overlay. I don't know how loud it was. How powerful was that? Please tell me if it was too loud, if I have to lower it or raise it. Anyway, welcome to the stream. I welcome thee to our stream. We're learning about the base sinners here. Well, moving on to Suddenly One Day. Has a very loud. All right, I will lower it by additional 3 and see next time it happens. That's kind of the point here. That's why I have all these hazards striped around. Anyway, Suddenly One Day, a 14 base power with a 14 coin power ego. Blunt Sloth with a 59 offense level. 1414, we have 28. Powerful. It inflicts 10 of a random status chosen from Burn, Bleed, Tremors, Rupture, and Sinking. 10, just like that. Bitch slap someone for 10. His passive is Uncontrolled Morph. I have used this to make him survive a mirror dungeon once. Turn start, at less than 25% HP, he heals 15 and gains true protection. When the above effect activates, inflicts true SP loss efficiency on a random other ally and on a random enemy, which means they start losing more sanity because he's, you know, morphing. All right. We have revealed every base sinner we are ready to deploy. Now, what did we learn about them? we learned that we have quite a number of Rupture users. Heathcliff is by far the strongest sinner in terms of pure power damage here, and we're going to be using him quite a lot. Now, let's deploy to the Mirror Dungeon and get on with it. We're going to have Virgilius here overseeing our operation, so Dante, go sit in the corner. Let's deploy our lovely sinners. We are going to take Favor of the Nebulae and Starlight Guidance as usual. However, this is the last day that we are going to take this on our normal mirror dungeons. From now on, whenever we're doing a normal mirror dungeon, we are going to take no favor. We are going to go for challenge mode now, unless I want to do something special or something funny. Now, Eagles? What Eagles? They're not using Eagles. We're going baseline. We're going raw with just what the game gives us. Now, we have a lot of choices to make here. For starters, none of the sinners use the charge keyword. We have one sinner with poise. We have 2 to 3 sinners with sinking. None of them use burn either. 1 or 2 of them use bleed. Grammar is used by at least 3 of them. And rupture is our mainstay between our sinners, even though they don't apply a lot of count. Our damage type is also a very mixed bag here. So what can we take here that will help us regardless of what we do? Probably would be the smoking pipe, because it powers up everyone, and we are really we really don't have that much in terms of power, so we're gonna take the cigarette holder. Now, since we are deploying with technically a full team, I am liable not to take any ego gifts, and we're running out of Starlight here too. But they have a very specific set of eagles that helps Limbus Company, which is the Operation Authorization card and the regular operational gear. And we are going to take that right away because, well, it is specifically for Limbus Company IDs, and we can only get that like on the floor 4, so we're going to just go with this. During the encounter, when an ally retreats or is defeated, randomly apply 3 offense level up between all identities at next turn. When 3 allies are defeated, we gain 6 offense level up. Turn start, 3 allies the lowest SP heals 15, 10, and 5 SP. Does not stack. The numbers apply in ascending order. Does not activate effect Arcanic or Corroded. Limbus Company identities, Q2 gains offense level +1 and deals more damage. Q3 gains offense level 2, deals more damage. If there are 4 Limbus Company identities among the backup units, 2 random allies gain 2 offense level up at the turn start. So, since these are very specific and can be fused to empower our Limbus Company lads, makes sense that we're gonna go well prepared for the dungeon, right? So we got our band-aids, we got our nice little lunch boxes for everyone. Virgilius is leading the expedition into the mirror dungeon. Oh boy, talked a lot. Right, let's go fight the Inquisitors because they are offering us Midwinter Nightmare. Here we go. Now, the trick about using the Limbus Company IDs is try to match the damage type that is marked here. And so we're gonna do this by clicking details here and taking the units that have blunt damage, which is these goobers here and no one else. Honglu for some reason has 2 attacks that use blunt, even though he uses a Naginata, and Faust uses a great sword, but she apparently doesn't know how to use it. So deploy these goobers into the front line. And we have Ryoshu glaring at us on the loading screen at all times, so get ready for that. Now, today is maintenance day. In about 2 hours. We're fine. We're more than fine. This pleases me so much. We're fighting Inquisitors without having a numbers disadvantage. Reminds me when I was playing Kanto 3 too. Alright. So now that we're done reviewing our units, how is everyone doing on this fine Wednesday? Right, let's deploy our boys with blunt damage. We're gonna solo all the dungeon. We could try that as a challenge someday. I could try like doing a every sinner does this dungeon solo at some point. Also, they not too long ago, but quite a long time ago, improved the skill animations for all skill or base units, and they look absolutely gorgeous. Punch him! Punch him! Right, let's see. If they took no damage last turn, he takes a plus point power. Heathcliff has true smackdowns ready to empower him. Faust, she inflicts defense power down, which is kind of useless. Faust is gonna stab someone to inflict power down, and Mercer is gonna punch the shit out of someone. My friend got 5 years hanging by a trap, but other than that, fine. I don't know the situation, so I cannot advise you something other than conversation is the best path, but if there is no reconciliation, it's better to cut the thread loose and just reminisce about your good old days. Right, I was needing this. Ah, that is so satisfying. Look, where is he? Look at that. Look at that. Heathcliff is so powerful for no reason as a base sinner. Especially considering Ryoshu, Dawn, and Ult is supposed to be the strongest of the team. 24! I love how she unstaggers the guy to attack her with a shield bash too. That is so interesting. Here we go. Just kill them. See, the Inquisitors are very powerful if you're doing solos or duos because they have a shit ton of debuffs, and because you don't have a full team to clash against them and spread the debuffs around, they can't concentrate all those debuffs in a singular guy and, you know, render him completely ineffective. But once you have a full team that is capable of fighting against them, they become pushovers. Especially because I, you know, have the thing, the package for the Limbus company's IDs, Eagle. Ah, Sharbu, welcome to the stream. I have never seen your name here before. I do assume this is your first time here on stream. I welcome you. Alright, let's see here. Downward slap. Here we go. We're full sanity. We can start cycling sinners around now. Doing base ID runs is very satisfying. It's very fun. It helps you appreciate your favorite IDs. It helps you take a look at the game for a little bit different outtake instead of like bringing a destroyer of words that is the Nurse Fathers or something more specific. Go Heathcliff with your 24 roller. Alright, here we go. Shield bash. Slide. Do your funny slide.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠. 가라앉는군요.
It obliterates him with a shield bash. 400% damage. I like that. Another thing that we can do with base sinners is try to match their sin types as well for resonance and extra damage against enemies that are weak to that resonance. As we remember, the bigger our chain of resonance, the more offense level we give to those lower in the chain. Because I was fighting Rian normally, but what do you mean you're using Furioso Lacrimose? Well, Rian is attacking a single target. The prescript told him to attack the same target. There is but one target, so you're kind of screwed there. Alright, we get the Pride. It certainly helps to teach you more of the game because you have to take in consideration your sinner's limitations. Indeed. You have to match the damage type to enemies to be more effective, the sin types, and etc, etc. For now, the Inquisitors are just weak to fatal. It's weak to blunt. So we just use characters that have blunt damage. So we don't have to care much about sin resonance, although the bigger our sin resonance, the better. Because right now we have like a Pride resonance that is going to be giving a little bit of offense level up here, which is, again, very nice, but not crucial. Now, what we can do here, who's getting attacked one-sided? Ah, there's nothing to do. Go! It's also very nice to see the goobers, the base goobers doing base goober things.
이 기회에 평소 지휘 실력을 확인해 보죠, 단테. 하던 대로 해보십시오.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Well, roller is so bad for a skill tree, man, but it does inflict the attack power down. So
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니.
let's make Papa Virgilius happy as he watches over us in the heavens of the announcer staff there.
덜 답답한 법이지.
Ow.
강력한 공격은 단순히
Honglu took no damage last turn, so that's gonna hit like a truck. We have a Wrath Resonance here, and so we're gonna use it.
행동을 개시합니다.
휩싸일 테니.
재밌는 순간이에요.
그간의
Again, how does that deal blunt damage? The same way that Faust deals blunt damage with her sword. Which leads me to believe that sword is not sharp at all, but blunt, but who knows. Faust doesn't seem like the type of person that spends time sharpening her sword. For all I know, the middle team is all about absolute envy, resonance, and counters. You are correct. You can win most combats by just countering.
좋은 전략이네요.
Because a lot of their counters turns into their skill trees if you have like a 6 envy absolute resonance. Now, let's never forget, you have resonance and you have absolute resonance. What's the difference? A resonance just means you have several of one color in your dashboard. An absolute resonance means you have several of the same color in a row. Not anywhere in the board, in the dashboard. In a row is absolute resonance. It took me a while, I confess, to learn that. And when I did, it was pretty nice. Alright, so here we go. Meat Tenderizer and Height Insulated Shoes are very good, but it depends on the sinner that is placed on that spot. Broken Revolver gives us rupture, defense level down, offense level down if the enemy has rupture, and the Limbus company team has a lot of allies that have rupture. So we are doing pretty well here, and we're gonna fuse the gift. The very important gift, this one. Limbus company identity skill. Skills true gain 2 offense level. Skills true gain offense level plus 2 and deals 20% more damage. Skills 3 gain offense level plus 3 and deals 40% more damage. Turn start. A random ally gains true offense level for every backup or defeated Limbus company's identities. During the encounter, when an ally retreats or is defeated, randomly apply 3 offense level up between all identities at next start. Distributed equally 2 times per turn. When 3 allies retreat or are defeated, we gain 6 offense level up. When 3 Limbus company identities retreat or are defeated, randomly apply 8 offense level up between all identities instead. I love doing Omni debuffs with offensive down gifts. It is one of the keystones for doing good Mirror Dungeon Extreme is offense level downs, baby. Now, something about the gift that we have not taken into consideration is the fact that it called for allies in backup. Right now, we have no one doing backup. And so we need backup units to be able to gain the buffs from that. So we're going to deploy true rupture units to be our backup fighters and the rest of the team as backups. I was completed a twinning threat stage with Kirishima and Ricardo Cliff, and you can forget about new assist unit. Well, not as true. I mentioned the middle resource, but he died later on. Merceau was on 11. Merceau is not the strongest sinner for the middle team. He's more there as a support and the ability to, you know, increase your chain. You can do well without him deployed on the field, but it's better if he's there because he's considered another middle unit that can lose clashes and get hit and empower everyone else. And again, he gives you more slots, so that's always good.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
Love rest time, indeed. Look, the sound of swords clashing is so nice. Because I usually don't deploy a full team, I don't get to play a lot in unfocused encounters, so I don't hear this cacophony of swords clashing and fighting and hacking and slashing. It's so nice to hear. Let's see. We have a good pride Rams here.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Oh no!
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없지만
Say prioritize resonance over certain stronger skills is better for base IDs. Yes. The base ID skills are quite weak in their ability to power up with, you know, coins and etc. They rely on offense level ups, and a lot of them have really weak offense levels, by the way. Having a high resonance means that later down the resonance, whoever is lower is gaining more offense level and dealing a little bit more of
좋은
damage.
전략이네요. 가보죠.
Now, one of the videos I'm planning to do, I am slowly, you know, refining my ability to make videos and stream. As you can see, the overlay is new as well. I love how it turned out. I am intending on making a video about offense levels and flash, offense level, resonance, etc. When you perform a resonance in Limbus company, well, let's go with absolute resonance right now. Let's say we have all RAF skills on our dashboard. From start to finish, all RAF. Later, from the first skill down to the last one, the skills that are last gain more offense power that later down the chain they are. So, for example, here, imagine if you have all RAF here right now, right? We'll just put this here. It was all RAF from beginning to end. So, starting from this one, it gains a little bit of offense level, and then a little bit more, a little bit more, a lot more. Oh boy, it's getting big. And now we have like supreme offense level up from the resonance here. And offense level up gives us more clash power, and it gives us more damage as well. So big bigger chain means big damage. This is absolutely insane on the middle team, because the middle team, on top of having absurd damage ups from their teammates, they are also dependent on absolute resonances. So later down the speed here, the more powerful the attack becomes. If something like Merso is struggling because he's the only 0/0 ID on the middle team, if he's the slowest, he gets all the buffs from being later down the chain from an NV absolute resonance. All right, here we go. Now, we came here for Midwinter Nightmare and Pendant of Nostalgia. Since we're not relying on ego attacks right now, we don't need Coffee and Cranes or Perversion. Pendant of Nostalgia is going to give us Poised Potency, and Midwinter Nightmare is going to give us Free Sinking. Ah, hell yeah! We're gonna go get this. It's a offense level up for our team. Here we go. Now, once again, the game is prioritizing blunt damage, but I want to go for the mystery pack. It is this thing. Give me your stuff. Give it to me. Give it to me now. Heathcliff, take it away from him. Steal it. You're good at stealing things, aren't you, Heathcliff? This is for our allies able to inflict sinking potency. It gives us one offense level up. And that's it. Here we go. Once again, the game is asking for blunt damage, so we're going to stick to our current team.
최선이겠죠?
Anyway, the only thing that is holding me back a little bit, which will be solved tomorrow for video making, is that much like a blacksmith, we forge our own tools when it comes to video making and video editing. Since a lot of what I'm gonna do is streaming my streams and, you know, getting a few snippets of gameplay here and there, I need to have an intro, an outro, and some other accoutrements that we put on the video editing software. A lot of these I have to make by hand, but once they are made, I can reuse them as much as I want. One of the things that I want to do to be able to do the videos about explaining Clash, fence level, etc., is something that I think is going to be rather unique, that I have seen it once before, but I want to see it again. I want to make it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a, you know, teacher jacket, like a doctor jacket, and I'm going to take a bunch of pictures of me pointing to a blackboard in different directions, you know. And then when I make the video, I'm gonna make like a stop motion of me doing the explaining with, you know, kind of like how I have a frame skip on my webcam right now, which I can remove. Let me show you. Filters. Here we go. I can remove the frame skip. so I become smooth. Look how smooth my video is. Yes, you can see all the movements of my hands now. Ooh. But now let's make my frame skip like horrid. Now my frame rate is once whenever. I love this thing, by the way. Yeah, back to two frame skips. Now I want to make like a kind of a stop motion of me explaining things that saves recording time and a lot of other things I want to do. Anyway, back to the game, which is the point here today. We have some envy here.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없지 않아? 적합한 조치.
I love that Vergilius has some specific call-outs for some of the sinners. I know he has one for Dawn, one for Ryoshu, and I don't remember who else. Right, Chu, Gloom, Envy, Wrath, and Pride. Wrath, Gloom, and Gloom.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보자.
Smack that guy. Oh yes, the legendary coin that the legendary coin power down, indeed. Again, they should bring back the 00 IDs as support IDs. They are not great fighters, but their support passes are really good, and some of their skills are able to inflict very powerful debuffs, but they're not very good fighters. So you're either, you know, covering them with your strongest fighters, which will be doing the clashing, and giving the opportunity of this support character to attack one-sided to inflict a, you know, a debuff on the enemy. That would be the ideal way, in my opinion, to make 00 IDs work. They're not mainline fighters, they don't clash high, but they can sure support the guys that clash high. We're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you, and we're gonna take your stuff. Right, I don't remember what he's weak to now that I think about it. I think he's weak to slash. Let's clear the selection here and deploy our slash units, which begins with Ryoshu, followed by Rhodia, Hin, these two goobers, in, and then we take our backup units. They need to gain sanity too, so.
뭐 최선은 다해 보겠다만.
Now, did I make the right call? Were you weak to slash? I'm fairly sure you're weak to slash. You are weak to slash. You are screwed. Although our team is all, you know, low sanity, so we'll make do. We'll make do. What were your sting weaknesses as well? Wrath and Gluttony. How nice. Right. You boys that have full sanity, go actually target his head, because his head is weak against every type of damage. So go, 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 go.
금방 다녀올게.
Oh yeah, I was like, who the hell is this sinner? I never seen Ryoshu with a white sword. Oh right, that's right. The entirety of Kanto 9.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군.
Come on, Rhodia. Come on, Rhodia. Ah. Suffering build character.
나라도 그렇게 했을 테지. 이만한
All right, we broke his head.
번질러진 모양이죠, 관리자.
Favored.
순위를 잘
Go for his head. And you two, go for his head too.
기대하겠습니다.
Neutral. I like that chance. I like my chances with neutral. And you, go win that clash too. The rest of you attack the head.
해보겠습니다.
There we go, Desang.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군.
Give her this. You give her the freaking. You give her free 5 coin power. Again, that alone could be like we have the Dante powers, right? I talked about this before. I really wish we had like tactical options that weren't like some magical tree power, like you know the retreat. We just give give the sinner 5 point power, no 5 offense level up or something because he's pumped. Dante said, "You can do it. Go on, go get him, champ." Dominating. Keep hitting his head, so he is casting shade. We can't clash against that because that rolls a 24, and nothing we have here will roll higher than a 24. So it's time for an ego. It's time for let's have Hong Lu do his thing so that he can heal the sanity of these goobers here a little bit. It's no Faust, but we'll do. Rhodey is not hungry. She is hungry, yes, but she had carry like enough food in her coat for 12 people, as per the Arknights. The Arknights crossover.
저 풍진 세상으로.
All right, he is dead. Ryo, why don't you do the honors here and win that clash? Rest of you, sit back and watch her work. Now, I'm betting on Ryoshu to being able to do something here, but if Ryoshu isn't able to, he will.
해보겠습니다.
Nice job, Ryoshu. The fairy puncture. Yeah, no, he didn't actually deal damage to her. He reached into her coat with that attack and stole a snack. Immediately puts her like negative 45 SP and makes her a negative coin ID. All right, we're looking at Slash and Blunt now. Let's clear up the selection. We're looking at Slash and Blunt, and so our suspects for Slash and Blunting will be deployed. Here we go. It's very important that we always deploy the backup units, because otherwise we do not gain the offense level up from the gift that we bought at the beginning of the run. Oh boy. Man, in the first mirror dungeons, these guys were so fucking scary. I guess they made a return of how scary they are on the Code Purple pack that you can get on the Mirror Dungeon Extreme.
금방 다녀올게.
Today I'm feeling quite dandy, and since we start earlier the streams, I might just go for more than floor 25 this time. So really put the sinners to a workout, you know? Man, it's kind of fucked up that spoilers for Kanto 9, but it's kind of fucked up that Ryoshi's swinging her kid around. You know? That's her kid literally turned into the scabbard for her sword, and she's just smacking people with it. Ow. The attacks for Heathcliff are so meaty. I love him. Tree here. We got tree here.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
해냈어요.
Very nice. Bring more. May the slaughter never ends. See red.
예술이 뭔지 보여주지. 아름답지 않네.
이 정도야.
Very good, Rhodey. Nice job.
난파시켰습니다.
Again, someone pointed it out. It doesn't make much sense of why Ishmael uses a mace instead of a harpoon. But I guess a harpoon is a little bit difficult to use, but I like throwing and getting it back. But then again, you use a harpoon as a weapon for Captain Ishmael, so I don't know why they decided to go for a mace instead of a harpoon. Especially because it is mentioned that she has a harpoon.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면
You don't use a harpoon in her person any times otherwise, other than her ego.
기다려. 아직 안 끝났어.
Sweet evil.
간당.
Let's see. We got plenty of green today. Our bellies are big and round, full of green.
해보기는 할게요. 안 되면 어쩔 수 없지만요.
Sadly, I can never reach the Arc 1912 since I was still at the beginning of the game. My condolences. It was a fun event. Shame it's non-canon, but it was a really fun event. The boss was fantastic, and a lot of people were complaining because the boss had unique mechanics, and you know how people deal with unique mechanics in Limbus, you know?
해냈어요.
Ooh, Rusted Muzzle. We deal sinking and bleed now with every attack we deploy. That is tasty. Heathcliff replacement coming right up for SmackDown. Carmilla, hell yeah. Nebulizer, hell yeah. Whetstone, hell yeah. Let's see. We can sell this for... need a little bit more money. Let's see. We can sell the Red Order, honestly. There we go. Hell yeah. Carpenter's Nails. Hell yeah. That's right. Bleed Potency for free. Right. It's shaping up to be a great mirror dungeon. Right. We're looking at a Slash Pride Gluttony team here. All right. Everyone that has Slash Pride and Gluttony, please present yourself. Slash Pride. Come on, Slash Pride and Gluttony. Don't be shy. Slash Pride and Gluttony. We have Gluttony on you and Slash on you. Good. Slash Pride and Gluttony. Come on. There we go. I see a Slash on you. Oh, I see Gluttony on your skill tree as well. I see Slash on you too, boy. Come on over. All right, the rest of you, follow line.
내가 나설 차례인가?
So got to fight the boss Arcanite. This is also a pack that appeared in the normal MD. It was a fun boss. It was a really fun boss. All you had to do was hit the little hockey puck to clear the area under them. You were golden. It's the run ender. Look at her in all of her glory here before us. Dong Be Eagle Spice Bush. Interesting. Right, let's smack you down with Slash, Gluttony, and Pride. But since I do not wish for you to evade, I will simply offset your attack. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. Here we go.
해보겠습니다.
Alright, next to Turtle. Let's see. Anyone with Slash, Gluttony, and Pride, please step forth and deal extra damage to her. Oh, what's that I see? It is a multi-hit Slash Pride attack. Excellent, most excellent. Anyone with a skill 1, please offset her guard. Hit her with all you got. Don Quixote does not have a Slash nor a Pride.
예술이 뭔지 보여줘.
The power up from the Poi is helping us win that clash. Big damage coming in. 1, 2. Very good, Dawn. Very nice. Gain that true power up that you need. And scene transition.
광대 노름은
Oh, someone is staggered, huh? Well, ain't that funny?
당신에겐 커다란 벽이겠군.
Right, anyone with pride and slash, please attend to the lady, if you will. Have one attack not being accounted for. I don't like that. It's just going for Sinclair. Who cares about Sinclair?
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요.
Oh, she's already at the next stage, I see. So we can't deal damage to her.
그러니까요.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 나라도 그렇게 했을 테지. 이만하면
Sweet evil.
궁금하군요.
승리했어.
생각보다 잘 들어갔네.
얼간이들이 흥겨워하는군.
Here we go, here we go, here we go again.
이유가 있는 법입니다.
Hit her with that halberd combo, which is a slash attack, and you go finish that off.
보시죠.
While for you, Honglu, beat that thing into a pulp, and the rest of you, beat her to a pulp. That's right, you get 2 turns with stagger.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
생각보다 잘 들어갔네.
Alright, it's dueling time, and you know what that means. I'm gonna give the honors of the duel to Don Quixote, because she gains powers from, you know. Now, she is using an awful lot of block skill here, and I don't want her to do that. And because we won't be able to do any damage to her, because we're gonna gain like infinite protection, we're gonna offset those blocks to at least do a little bit of
명령대로
damage.
하겠습니다.
창의적인 발상이군. 그래도
Duel time! Come on, Dawn, don't let us down.
갔으면 좋겠네.
Shows to everyone that you're a knight capable of winning a duel. Unlike that one time during your counter, which you fumbled pathetically.
그래서 당신을 관리자로 정하기에는 합당한
술진이다!
이유가 있겠지. 기대하고 있겠습니다, 단테. 이 기회에
That didn't work out for Elle. Dawn has won the duel. Congratulations, you little creature. Kill her.
명령대로 하겠습니다. 아름답진 않네.
Ryoshu finishes the kill. A just duo indeed. Alright, Barbed Lasso is not so bad. We came here for Kaleidoscope, and we are gonna get Kaleidoscope. We are gonna also get the portable battery socket, which allow us to gain a little bit of charge, which will allow us to use those charge gifts that we so much enjoy. Now, we have 3 choices here. One that is not so good, one that gives us bind on every enemy, we give power on envy resonance or slash kills. This one is pure damage for the first turn, healing on a stagger. Let me reroll these. I think we are going to Santa. Time to use our Pierce Voice. Time to get that piercing done. All right, we're gonna go for the middle. And oh boy, is that what I hear? Is that what I think it is? That is a free level up for everyone. How nice. See you around, Moises. We'll come back for our reading of Crime and Punishment after the dungeon is done. All right. calling in everyone with pierce damage and wrath damage and gluttony damage. Please go to the front of the line. For pierce damage, we have Dawn, our lovely little gremlin. We have Otis, we have Gregor, we have Isang and Faust. Now, anyone with green and red, please present themselves. There we go. Well, actually, Rodion, you are better for this than Heathcliff. Green and red, green and red. There we go. Right, deploying my lovely sinners to the front line. I love this idea that Dante calls in, like we're in the bus and we called in like, all right, anyone capable of doing pierce and red, please present yourself to the front of the line. Come on, we don't have all day. Time to turn green. Time to get green with it. Stab and twist. Focusing on pierce, red, and green.
좋아, 간다.
순조로운 전략입니다.
Now, one downside from remaking the entire overlay today is that I lost the little text box that I keep like down on the bottom that says, you know, ask away questions. Oh, do tell, Acidic Trauma, how's it going? Tomorrow we are going to see the Blade of Spiders Ryosho live as well for Mirror Dungeon Extreme. Right, pierce damage, pierce damage, pierce damage, green damage, red damage, pierce damage.
순조로운 전략입니다.
Now, do you mean Blade of Spiders Ryosho or Ryosho Solo? Pierce damage and green. Pierce damage and green and red. Let's see. Red, red. And no green or red here.
생각보다 잘 들어갔네.
좋은 전략입니다.
Other Spiders Ryosho. Alright. I am planning on trying to do a solo Ryosho, base Ryosho, because I've seen people do it and it's pretty fun. She has evades, not great evades, but she has some. Hit them with the red attack! Alright, we're running out of green and red here. Now, the only reason why we're deploying all sinners to battle like this is to make use of the ego gift that we have fused at the beginning of the dungeon. Because if we don't have backup units, we do not activate the ego gift. Otherwise, the ideal way to deal with this, with the base sinners, would be to deploy only the sinners capable of doing pierce, red, and green, and have them have more skill slots to do more damage, which means well, they're going to be taking some damage to begin with, but that's okay. But since I want to make use of the ego gift I paid Starlight for, we're deploying the full range of sinners, a 7-man team. I wish I could lower the amount of sinners I could deploy and have backups. That way I could have sinners with more skill slots, but it is what it is. We cannot do that. Right, we got plenty of battles ahead of us, so keep going. The team that has selected is pretty good for that purpose.
두 번 수감자.
All right. Pierce, damage, and green, and red, and pierce, and pierce.
적들을 제거하겠어.
Shish kebab those goddamn gnomes.
교단의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없지 않아. 적합한 조치였습니다.
Very good, Faust.
나라도 그렇게 했을
All right, and pierce green, pierce purple,
하면 훌륭하군요.
pierce, no, pierce damage, green pierce damage, yellow, red, pierce, blue.
출진이다.
Blue.
난파시켰습니다.
들어갔네.
승리했어.
그래, 그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편.
Alrighty, red, blue, pierce, 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 more pierce, blue, red, blue.
좋아, 간다.
Very good.
좋은 전략입니다.
Enemies with both physical weakness and scene weaknesses are my favorite.
제가 괜히 먹을
Pierce, pierce green, green, pierce, pierce, blue, blue, pierce green, blue, and green.
있었죠.
출진이다.
Big pierce. Ah, we have a stagger in our team.
승리했어.
Dawn currently has 10 damage up. What the hell?
낙역하오.
Dawn, what are you doing?
막고 있는
You little gremlin. How the hell do you have 80%? Oh, it's offense level up. I thought she had like 10% damage up. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
마십시오.
Green, pierce, yellow, green. Who got staggered? Otis.
제시합니다. 승리했어. 생각대로 되었어.
숨쉽구만.
Just mop them up, my sinners. Drop them up into fine little bits and pieces.
폭의 거울은 깨졌어.
All right, let's check out the mystery pack over here. What do we have? These bone things. Ah, sure, I'll take it. It's extra damage against enemies with sinking, so why the hell not?
어떻게 해내긴 했네요.
There we go. And onto the shop. Let's go. Get another replacement for that bash for SmackDown. We know how powerful that thing is. And for Ryosho, make her splatter a little more. Just slather it all around. We got ourselves a Tangled Bundle. We go. You going up? All right. See you in a bit. All right, for upgrades, we have ourselves Carmilla to upgrade. And any useless gift we have? No. Let's upgrade the wrist guards. We have a little bit of charge generation now, so this is pretty good. We're not making a lot of money, which is weird. But up to the third boss fight. Going on floor 7 now. Well done.
빨리 끝내고
Good luck out there.
들어가자고.
My cigar is running out. Today is a nice day for a cigar. It's Maintenance Day. Oh, you poor little creatures. There's 3 of you and 7 of us. Oh boy, oh dear, oh my.
성과를 갖고 돌아온다면
Let's have Otis use her ego. Let's have everyone pop their ego at least once, so they have their passives going on, yeah? Although we don't need to ego blast in this hard, actually. It's just gnomes. We don't need to ego blast into oblivion like that.
행동을 개시합니다.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았군요. 적합한 조치였습니다. 벌간이들이
Fine, just kill them. There's nothing to do here. Just kill them.
법입니다. 이를 잡아 쫓아보시지. 나라도 그렇게
Now, one thing we can upgrade real easy for our base sinners is any of the eagle gifts that allows us to do any status ailment from just hitting the enemies, such as Talisman Bundle, Rusted Muzzle, Midwinter Nightmare can't be upgraded, but there's a few others that also allow you to deal on hit stuff, which is very good because it affects all of our stinners regardless of their, ability to do anything. Ah, Dawn got staggered.
제가 괜히 먹을 것들을
Right, pierce them with great power and great strength.
금방 다녀올게.
부수적인 효과.
Oh yes, that killed it.
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 보는 맛이 나는군. 일 처리.
Fun fact, the only thing you can do to a staggered enemy to do even more damage is match the scene weakness they have. When an enemy is staggered in Limbus Company, they take double damage for any source of physical damage. But G4, what the hell does it mean by physical damage? What I mean is slash, blunt, and pierce. When an enemy is staggered, they take 2 times damage from that, but their sin resistances remain unchanged. Meaning that if we want to deal 4 times damage to these little gnomes when they're staggered, we must hit them with the correct color, the correct sin affinity, the correct elemental damage, if you will. God, thinking about elemental damage makes me want to play Monster Hunter again. I love Monster Hunter. I wish I had more Monster Hunter to play. My beast computer here, which is, beast only because it's quite old and I love it, much like a beast. He can't handle Monster Hunter Wilds and I want to play it desperately. And for that I need a lot of money, which I don't have. But one day I'll get. Which, by the way, I was looking after, the whole talk I did yesterday about the whole when you're grinding you have to keep an objective in mind because it makes the grind tolerable. I was thinking about real life things as well. For what could I grind real life that that justify doing the things I do. And one of them is buying a new computer, getting myself a house. Here in Brazil is a little bit cheaper and we have property. I live the property of my mother. And yeah, one of the things I must try to grind for is really just going for, what's it called? These things. And I was looking up how, I do the YouTube and Twitch thing here for fun. It's a thing I enjoy doing, just like I'm enjoying doing the videos. And I enjoyed making the overlay update that I did today. And to get any sort of monetization, both from YouTube and Twitch, there is an objective I must reach. For example, on YouTube, I must reach 500 subscribers. And we only reached 100 recently. So 1/5 of the journey has already been done. And I look forward to trying to get to the 500, which is going to be probably our next objective. But we're going to commemorate and struggle every step of the way there. For Twitch, I just need to have 4 people watching at the same time so I can actually become monetized on Twitch, which is strange because I never get more than 1 or 2 people on Twitch. Maybe it's the time I stream, I don't know. But it seems that Limbus Company has more viewers during the afternoon, so maybe I'll do some afternoon streams with Limbus on the weekends at least to try and beat the objective, because I meet every other criteria on Twitch. I have enough followers, I stream enough, I stream in several days. I just don't have lots of concurrent watchers on Twitch, which is a shame. The only concurrent watchers I have on Twitch is sometimes someone that shows up, like 48277. Hello, thank you for your follows, by the way, and the bots that try to sell me things.
골치 아픈 것들이 고깃 조각이 되었군요, 단테.
Dante.
나쁘지 않은 성과입니다.
There's other games I want to stream as well, but the problem I have is I don't know if my computer can handle streaming them together with OBS and the voice mod that I have active right now. I tried Gloomwood and it was working well for most of the streams. There are sometimes where it started to chug, but I wonder if now with my upgraded overlay, consuming less memory on my computer, this will change. Hopefully.
맛있는 거 준비해줘, 단테.
Oh, 1 second. Someone's sending me a message. Hey. Sorry. Shion Hickey, welcome back. I see you're gonna get by Ember Worm when the exit train abno. Oh. That happens, that happens. Ah, that reminds me, I gotta prepare myself for my lobotomy run someday, my pilgrimage, if you will. Alright, we could take the sad plushie here. But it's not gonna support us very well. It deals more damage based on our sanity. It's giving more power to the enemies, and I don't want that. We are gonna take Broken Compens and max HP. And it's the last worm of the whole day. It happened, my friend. Ooh, good choices all around here. We got the special contract. We got the card here. We got the charge barrier thing. Maybe could there be something better if we hit a refresh? Let's see. Oh yes indeed. We have that statuette that gives us true skill power on a Sloth Absolute Resonance. And we have Bridle. I am going for Bridle. Hell yeah. We're going for Bridle. Okay, just... Why are we going for Bridle? Health bonuses, baby. And we are trying to go for more than floor 5 today. We're gonna stretch the sinners as deep as they go. And they're doing quite well. We're not fighting you. You don't give us anything good. Take the small teleport. Pride and envy. Go, Dawn. You can do this. You like dogs. Go pet the dog. There we go. Do you think if we took one of the sinners, you know, when Heathcliff distorted, do you think if we take one of the sinners and have him, her dress like Catherine and go pet him, that would be enough to fool him? That would be horrible. All right, what do we have here? Give me a refresh, bartender. Burial curse, I'll take it. And arrested him, I'll take that too. Let's try to sell and enhance gifts here that we can. All right, we don't really use this that much. It's 5 offense level, but only if they have 15 plus charge. Right now, we're not at 15 plus charge, not even close to that. We only have the battery socket giving us power-ups. Once the blessing can actually work, let's upgrade our rusted muzzle for more bleed application, which is very good. And let's see, we don't have any other pure application things here, and we are out of money too, so it is what it is. Let's deploy. Right, this boss, we know him very well indeed. So we're gonna clear the selection here, and what we're looking for here is big resonance. The boss gets weaker by our by selecting the effect at the special, you know, timer. So we're gonna go for big resonance, starting with Heathcliff because he powers up, and so we're looking for envy, wrath, and lust. Envy, wrath. Let's see. We also have some green mixed. There we go. Envy, wrath, lust. Envy, wrath, lust, envy, wrath, lust. Envy, I have gluttony, chew. Let's go for gluttony. This one, and the rest of the goobers. Let me just check which units have the bonuses. She's getting pierce. He's getting slash and pierce. She's getting blunt and pierce. I'd rather Ryoshu be the third selected sinner for the buffs. Go with you. Fourth selected is the one that deals pierce or blunt, right? Let's go with Dawn. So slash, pierce, and blunt. Then we get Honglu. No. I get her. Also no. Get Honglu, her, and the rest of the goobers. There we go. Deploy. Destroy this fucking thing. Oh, we just got a subscriber here, but it's not a public one. Now, here's the thing about YouTube. YouTube has a way of you keeping the people that you subscribe to, stealth. And, well, people don't want to, publicly say that they have subscribed. That's fine. These people that subscribe, I still see that they subscribed. I see the number going up. here on my OBS, but I don't know who that is. So whoever subscribed just now, thank you very much. It helps a lot. I hope I can see you someday here on the stream talking on the chat. I think it would be more distorted, yeah, probably. But hey, it was worth a try. All right, here comes the flowers. Ah, how pretty. 7 flowers. We gotta destroy them. And I do believe they take more damage from their assigned damage type, so... Motherfucker. Yep, more damage from their assigned damage types. So, Sinners gets to it. Destroy these flowers with your myriad of skills capable of doing much harm to them. And here. And if you have enough things deployed, we have, you know, the thing, the signpost does not attack us. Wrath flowers reflect the damage that used to kill them.
적을 난파시켰습니다.
어떠냐?
There we go. We have to temper our wrath when attacking the wrath flowers. Very nice, Honglu, very nice. I knew you were the boy for the job. True. You can kill it, but good enough. What do you wish for? I accept your flowery gift. How about we increase your damage to wrath? And we defeated 2 wrath flowers. Well, 1 wrath flower. Alright. Once again, we focus our efforts on killing this thing and assigning the proper damage types to the enemy. When you kill it, kill with wrath. It's opposed, it's targeting Honglu. Honglu can win that clash, easy peasy. Let's see, Rhodia, we have green here. Green is not going to do a lot of damage to the main body, so we're going to go for kill, 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 and recover. Go. This is seriously relaxing. I love these ambient songs for the railway abnormalities, such as My Form Empties, Signpost of Roses. I love this more calm. It's not a combat song, it's just like atmosphere. What do you wish for? I wish for more wrath. I wish for infinite rats. Give me your rat. Rhodia, ask for a rat. Endless wrath. Right, focus your rat attacks on the flower. The rest of you hit the horde. Now we're gonna make use of Ryoshu's extra damage on the body here, but if they already took damage, so here we go. We'd be so cursed if we got Virgil as a proposed announcer. That's better damage. Smack it down. Come on, bring it down the house. Ooh, I like that amount of bleed you got on you, boy. Now, we're gonna make the most of it. We're going to only clash with the last sinners to attack. That means we can apply more bleed and more damage to the body part. So we get to attack you first before you get to do anything. Go ahead and try to attack with your flesh now. I dare you. You have a lot of bleed in there, and I love me a good bleed.
평소 지휘 실력을 확인해 보죠.
Can't clash against all of these, so all of our attacks are going again to the main flesh. Let's bleed max this thing into oblivion.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
Flowers!
위에서
The
당신을
flowers are
관리자로
back.
정한 데에는
Hit him with the appropriate damage type. Simple as 1, 2, 3.
있습니다. 단테.
출진이다.
I think that playing in music, a combat music, that isn't like a bombastic, high BPM track for a boss, something more calming and atmospheric like this, helps paint the idea that, yeah, this guy we're about to fight is the real deal.
겨우 이 정도야?
강력한
Round took damage. That's no good. You have to kill this thing fast, boys.
이제 저들은 자신도 그렇게 될
But if you lose a sinner again, it's not a problem. Let's try to match the damage types again so we can score some kills. Akibo over here. We need green. Who has green? You have green. Stagger it and kill it. Both of you. Wrath goes here. We don't have any Wrath. Unopposed over here. There is a attack that is going unopposed. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. So how about... You know what? We do the rose next turn. We can survive another turn. It takes 5 turns for these roses to kill us, so...
출진이다.
Ah, that's a straight up kill. Nice job. Dawn might get staggered from this now. It's just fine. Who might die from this is a, you know, Sinclair because he's gonna kill it and take a lot of damage.
늘 새롭다니까요.
한 건 했다. 맛있는 거 준비해줘, 단테.
전혀.
We're fine, we're fine. What do you wish for? I wish for even more rats. Endless rat cascade raining from the heavens. The rat picture.
다른 애들이었으면 못했을
시간이
걸.
무한하진
Right, let's
않죠.
finish this.
단테.
Kill that thing, and you, for justice, can kill that thing. The rest of you that has rats as a damage type, go strike down at the flesh. Can I target this? What? Alright, all going for Ryoshu then. Okay. Why can't I be faster than you, huh? Alright. Do it, you do you, you do you. Meantime, we're gonna hit the flash. Here we go.
금방 다녀올게.
I just realized something. I don't think any of the sinners have a wrath-based ego. That's strange.
승리했어.
That is so strange. None of the... Hold on. Yiseng is sloth. Faust is pride. Dawn is lust. Ryoshu is lust. Merso is pride. Honglu is gloom. Heathcliff is envy. Ishmael is gloom. Rodion is pride. Sinclair is gluttony.
아픈 것들이 고기 조각이
Sinclair is gluttony. Otis is pride. And Gregor is sloth. Wow, none of the sinners have a wrath-based ego. That's so weird. That is incredibly strange.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
Ah, we have reached maximum bleed potency. We just need to have the flash actually pump out some attack to deal damage, which is not doing it. Again, sinners don't deal extremely high amounts of damage, but so we're chipping away at this boss. It is truly a long fight.
좋은 전략이네요. 가보죠.
Sweet evil. Alrighty then, summon your funny flowers, funny boy. Now, once again, we are getting worn down, but we're recovering our health because we have health ego gift. That is always nice. Go over here. If you have pride, you attack the pride flower, so deal with the pride parade. And we don't have any more to deal with these, so bring it in. Bring with it, boys.
출진이다.
기다려. 아직 안 끝났어.
One. Also, lots of single coin attacks here, so don't do lots of damage. And 1, 2, dagger. Smack it down, Heathcliff, smack it down!
어떠냐?
Ouch. Oh, I just realized that thing in motherfucker is healing. That is no good. Right, let's finish this. Come on, come on. There's no limit. Pride goes in the pride flower, lust goes for the lust flower, but lust flower is EP. So 78, that is a kill. Wrath over here, kill it. Stop it and smack it. Rocket.
금방 다녀올게.
He could get staggered by his own attack.
재밌는 순간이에요.
아름답진 않네.
Ooh, some sinners are taking damage. More rat, please. More rats, please. Come on, Rhodia. Give us more rats. I'd say that my favorite ailment in this game is bleed, but I wish there was a bleed rafting rather than bleed lusting, because I think it's, you know, better sounding to hit someone with a bleed and a rat. I didn't realize that I put all my bleed in the flesh, and the flesh barely does attacks. So we're gonna have to focus our target into the signpost itself. Lessons for the future when I fight this boss again, which we will fight it several times still. It gives a very powerful gift. It's foolish to ignore it.
아름답진 않네.
Okie dokie. More rats. I'll take the rat. Where is Rhodia? Rat attack.
다른 애들이었으면 못했을걸.
Right. Only bleed is on the fucking flash, so we have to attack the signpost. Signpost is broken too, so that is double damage. So we're gonna go there and we're gonna do lots of bleed, lots of damage. Here we go.
금방 다녀올게.
Splatter it. Look at Rhodia dealing the damage. Burning up. Ah, it's gonna do its sting again, isn't it? Right, you know what it is, boys. Attack the signpost, stack your bleed on it to it, because it was a mistake to focus on the flesh, I just naturally am drawn to the flesh. Because you say something like, oh, the enemy has a part called the flesh, I'm going to attack it because it's gonna do more damage, right? It's the flesh. But no, that's not the point. I think we're gonna kill in this turn, so... There we go! Little German boy delivers the damage. Took a few more turns than I wanted to do with this boss, but then again, we are using base sinners, and Ryoshu's glaring at me again. Alright, give me a chance to gain more poise gifts. Thank you. And Bridal. Oh, no. Oh, no. But you're gonna get so much HP, man. Oh, no. Ooh. And there we go. Alright, so. Oh, I'm not going in here. No way in hell, Jose. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We are gonna go for LCB regular checkups. That's what we're gonna do. Ah, that fight's gonna take forever, isn't it? It's fucking Hohenheim. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Hello, hello. I'm here for the samples. Give me your stuff. Heathcliff, take his stuff from him. Thank you. Ignition plug. Alright, calling all sinners. Able to do Pierce, Gluttony, and Envy. Pierce, Gluttony, and Envy. Pierce, Gluttony, and Envy. Pierce, Pierce. Pierce, Pierce. Gluttony, and Envy. Pierce, Gluttony, and Envy. Gluttony, and Envy. Let me see here who can be deployed better. Blunt and Pierce. This is Blunt and Pierce. Good enough for me. I forgot to send the backup units. Ah, well.
단순해서 좋건 9번 수감자. 물론
Big thing.
좋은 성과를 갖고
Alright, we're now struggling against them.
짭짤한 걸 준비해두지.
Finally, the challenge arrives. The enemy is rallying against us. What does the attack do? Big pierce damage against Dawn, which is resistant to pierce, but fatal against Gloom. No good. Is there anyone that can be a hero for Don Quixote? Anyone? Anyone at all? How about you, little German boy? Can you step up and destroy that creature before it attacks Dawn? Are you a bad enough dude for this? Of course you are, and you are going to prove it to us. Well, everyone is going to hard focus on the big boy and few. This abnormality is so pretty, man, this Spectacular.
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
나라도 그렇게 했어.
Slam!
이만하면 훌륭하고요.
Oh yeah. Time 21:14. We are actually taking a long time today, huh? Again, base sinners, which is making me reconsider my idea of going further than floor 5 because we still have a book to read and I have stuff to do. I do work in the morning after all. That's why I started these streams earlier. All right, here we go. What are you doing? You're doing your big attack again? Yes, you are. Cascading Gloom. There it is. Can any big boy here take care of that for us? What are you weak to anyway? You are weak to Envy and to Gluttony. Got it. Well, that attack is gonna do 4 times damage then. So dominating. It is 5 speed, so someone's gonna. You know what, Gregor? I think you deserve the ability to give it a slap. Come on, slap that thing, boy. 2 things are using evade, so we are going to ignore them completely. Focus on beating up this thing. Here we go. This one's better, and this one's just a green. No, who's gonna clash that is Gregor.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
We're 8 or 9 completed now. Congratulations, Civic Trauma. Once you get the hang of what passives to bring and which gifts to prioritize, solo runs become a little bit easier. Slap! Grab that thing by the ass. Get hit with a cascading balloon. Low damage because it's a raft skill. And hit. Alright, chipping away at the boss. He's doing true evades now. We don't like that. We don't want that.
이유를 잡아 쫓아보시죠.
Ding, 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 ding. Good times in Lobotomy Corporation. I want this creature suffering. I want this creature to be stabbed by Yiseng. Go on, my little weird poet.
그간의 전투 경험이 쓸모가 없진 않았고요. 적합한 조치였습니다.
There we go. Stab it. Slice at it. It's getting weaker, boys. It's getting weaker. Now, we still have to deal with its decay collision. Doesn't it explode in one of its skills? I'm pretty sure it does. Anyway, Dawn, take care of that for us. Ravaging Cut with envy damage and it deals extra damage against it. The rest of you, go deal with the little boys around us. And whoever hasn't used an Eagle, I think it's high time you did. How about you, Yiseng? That's right, emo boy. It's your time to shine with your very good Eagle with a very weird clash ability. Whoever is not attacking the thing directly, please do so. This is my favorite type of quote-unquote roleplay where I am the manager, which is supposed to be your job in Limbus company. You're Dante, you're just managing the creatures. Once you give the orders like attack this with that and that with this, there's not much you can do other than watch. So I like to do like, okay, you go there, you go there, you go there, kind of role play in quotation mark. The stagger. Alright, I think it's time to be adieu to the cigar as it is quite spent. And soon I will be burning my fingers and I don't want to do that. Let me take off the ashes from my body. Get myself nice and comfortable on my chair and get this other thing here to put my arm on because I had to sacrifice my armrest or something else. There we go. There we go, goddammit. There we go. Much better. Right, we got a staggered, which we can eliminate out of the playing field. Wrath is quite weak against it, so we're gonna have Rodion kill the staggered being. Here we go. Pierce the gloom. It resists the gloom, but what can you do? That's a struggling. Faust, I think it's time for you to show us what you're capable of. Go on, show everyone your cool skill. That attack is going somewhere I don't like. Bing bong, bing, bing bong. Emo boy, prevent its evasions.
금방 다녀올게.
For justice, stab and stab again on a kill from Don Quixote. You earned yourself an extra juice box full of blood. Get slapped. Ooh, 20. Forgot these creatures apply a shit ton of sinking. But now it's going to get staggered.
모든 결과들은 파우스트가 알아요.
Strike down fast. There we go. Kill it, Rodion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, the battle is in our favor. Two more of these little things come out of the woodwork. How many more of them? There's a lot of them. Oh no. Hope there's not any big ones coming up. Right, that is 62 damage. And it's weak to envy and gluttony, right? Envy and gluttony. With the gluttony then. Enemy is evading. We're ignoring the enemy that is evading and going all in for the kill. Get rid of the big boy.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
There we go. Finish the kill off. Don Quixote. And now it comes in another big one. No, just little balls of things. Right, they're using a very powerful evade, so if they're gonna evade, I'm not gonna stop them. If they're gonna abandon her comrade, I'm not gonna stop them. The enemy is making a mistake, and according to the art of war, when an enemy makes a mistake, you let them. Don't try to correct them. Don't give them the chance. As this is a machine that we're fighting against. When he makes a mistake, it is not baiting us into a trap, so. Very good. Kill confirmed. Now we have to clash. We're looking for envy and gluttony once again. Wrath deals low damage, but not a problem. Spread out the damage. And we focus on whatever gets staggered after its wave. Tab. Back slash. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Come on. There we go. Nice little German boy. Come in, come in. Oh, those are the last three. All right. We just have to focus on them. Anything that is hitting with green and purple, please attack whatever is lowest of health. Here we go. The rest of you go deal with the other one. The damage types are not the best against this, but we'll do what we can. Tab. We have to leverage our speed here with one-sided attacks. Start with green. Slice with green to a stagger. German. Ah, that is beautiful. I like looking at that. A full stagger. Let's finish them off, my boys. I don't know if we're gonna have enough damage to kill all three of them in a single turn, as we do not have eagles capable of mass destruction, but we'll do with what we have. Back at 53%. Welcome back, Moises. It is still not book reading time, as the Sinners are having a hard time getting past a combat here. And it's going to take a lot more time against Hohenheim as well, because Hohenheim is a bit of a bit with a lot of HP and a lot of shield that we're going to have to whittle down little by little. No evade for you, little boy. You're getting offsetted. Damage here, one damage here. Get the offset out and kill.
행동을 개시합니다.
There we go, chopped up to little bit pieces. Took a little while to get through this fight. It's the first one in the dungeon, the floor, but we keep going. Again, the Sinners are good, but not exceptional. Oh no, this is the second fight. What the hell? All right, calling in all Sinners capable of dealing blunt and wrath. Blunt and wrath, please step up. All right, we have Raphaton here. I think the gluttony was also in the field, so any Sinners capable of dealing gluttony, please step forth. Don't make me ask again. There we go. And let's not forget to deploy our backup units. See, Dawn is here too. Flash. Blunt Pierce. Blunt Pierce. His Pierce Lash is in bad position. But we deploy it anyway.
예술이라면 더 좋을 텐데 말이야.
What are you doing, dogs? It is an unfocused encounter. Here we go.
물론 좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온다면
You do the red damage, and I think it's gluttony, right? Yes, gluttony and red. And anyone with blood.
먼저 간다.
Ooh, Rhodia, you lost a coin there. But you got a stagger off nonetheless. Well done. Go, little German boy. That's much easier now.
기다려. 안 끝났어.
적합한 조치였습니다.
Here we go. That's a 4 stagger in the very first turn. That is beautiful.
해보겠습니다.
Crushed by a shield bash from Ishmael.
해냈어요.
겨우 이 정도야.
30분.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna do this bit.
당연한 결과죠.
Let me see how this goes. Hold on.
쉽네.
이만하면 훌륭하군요.
Alright, my sinners, deploy, destroy, and kill these arrogant little fools that arise from the memories of Hohenheim. Anyone capable of dealing blunt damage, or green damage, or wrath damage, please step up and serve them a double serving of pain. Go on and destroy them.
Sorry, I just wanted an excuse to use the voice changer again.
전투 감각 하나만큼은 수감자가 되어 훌륭하기나.
떠냐?
이제
Crush!
그 도통 알아들을 수 없는 말.
Double helping of pain delivered with absolute destruction. Little German boy is having a hard time there. There we go.
게시합니다. 가라앉는군요.
Oh, I do love unfocused encounters when we're not using a single guy. Which I do so use for my next solo run. I have Chicken Sinclair, Horsey Sang, Kira Ishmael, and Lobotomy Eagle Hornet Mercil. Go for Lobotomy Eagle Hornet Mercil because of his AoE, and he has evade, so you're gonna do great with it. He is very fun to watch move. Horsey Sang is also very fun, but Chicken Sinclair is spiritually a 0/0 ID. Unfortunately, he's good. He has an AoE on his skill tree, but he isn't hate crit. Upheaval, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits.
떠냐?
Bang, smack.
쉽네.
I do love watching Heathcliff work with that bat of his. Alright, so we got the mystery pack here. Let's see. These guys. Alright, sure. Accept and investigate. Come on. Go on, Verso, go do your thing. Nailing Fist.
해냈다.
And we got a repeat of the gift we already got. Done with Floor 10, congratulations. Let's get ourselves a Scalpel. And let's refresh for charge. See if we can get the very good Curriculum Vitae. And if we can, we should get the other card item, which is... Let's see here. Give me a refresh for card. Nothing. Really want the UPS system because we are almost at the golden perfect ratio for that. So we put in a skill level 2, sacrifice a useless one, and Wishmake. That's not what I wanted either. I have to do that again. Go with 2. Sacrifice the level share is actually good. Sacrifice Milepost for survival because we're almost at the end of the dungeon. Give me the UPS system. Yeah, that's what we wanted. É disso que o velho gosta, é disso que o velho quer. Alright, we got our blessed damage up combo. As soon as we sell a gift here, hold on. Sell that, where we have no use of it. And the spark plug, as no one inflict burn here. So enhance the risk gauntlets, and we got damage up. Hell yeah. We're also gonna get ourselves some extra health. We're gonna sell something here useless. Let's see, this is useless. So it is also useless. We're gonna enhance our shit further by making Bridal more powerful, so we are all reasonably tanky. We are going to increase Metronome to its maximum level because of defense level and damage on many turns. Let's see. This is kind of useless as well. Camilla is not gonna be yet in use today after this. Yeah, we're out of money, so this is what we got, and this is what we can use. Wrath and Gluttony. Step forth, ye sinners, capable of wrath and gluttony. Wrath, gluttony, wrath, gluttony, wrath, gluttony. Fly later. Wrath, gluttony, 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 wrath. Go with each you. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's for Pierce. Flash Pierce. You are the slasher of the team, so you are better off as the third deployed. You are going over here to get the bonus from the meat tenderizer. Dawn is going to be the 6th deployed for the Pierce bonus. And Wrath, Gluttony. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? We have Faust. And other than that, let's deploy the backups with Gluttony and the rest of the team. Here we go. Level 410. Congratulations, Acidic Trauma. What's up? Are you going to go for... Ah, you're fighting Leiheng. Good luck. Leiheng is a bit of a beast, even if he is, you know, nerfed. Alright. Hello, Hohenheim. How are you doing, my boy? It has been a hot minute, hasn't it? Here we go. Fortunately for us, we have a full cast of goobers ready to fight you. Dun, 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 dun. And destroy, my sinners. We have plenty of green and we have plenty of red. And most important of all, we have a lot of bleed. And we also take care of your sanity because we have Midwinter Nightmare. Bing, bing, dong, bing. The second warning for Hohenheim. The clash is won and the galloping tilt. Yeah, you're sucking off our sanity. I don't like that. Now, here's what we're gonna do. That attack is an AoE with an unbreakable coin. We're gonna make sure that is the last thing to be clashed by Ryoshu. No, Ryoshu's not fast enough. Oops. That is gonna be Sinclair doing his utmost here. Clash and clash. Actually, hold on. Right. Sinclair is the last one to clash, followed by you, and you. There we go. No attack unaccounted for. That means Ryoshu gets the free pass to do her attack together with Foul. Go, my sinners. Dead. 1. And goodbye to your shield. Smacking down. Ravaging cut. 1, 2, 3. AoE. Blast. Brush stroke. Oh, he won against Faust. That's bad. Alright, it's all clashable guards now. Means it is a bit of a pickle we find ourselves in here. We can't cancel these, by the way. I think. Can we cancel these, I think? I don't remember if you can cancel a clashable counter, a clashable block. Because it's 5, we can get 5 clashable counters, clashable blocks out of the way. Or we can just clash and win, honestly. Go, little German boy, and do your best. Strike him with your big axe. Which I still don't understand why you have it, but whatever. Bonk. Smack him down, Heathcliff. Smack him down. No shoot for you.
떼지 말아야
But gather enough data. I see. I see. Too bad you were slow as balls. That means we gotta do a lot of attacks first on you, and then we have someone hit you with an ego blast, so we can win that clash. Hopeless, you say? I don't think so. Favored, we're all betting on Rhodia.
전략이네요.
Always bet on Rhodia.
직접 싸워보질 않았어.
1, 2, 3, 4.
가족일
Bash!
거라고 생각했나? 관리자의 전투 교육도 위에 제시.
And blast him with your axe, Rhodia.
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어.
Not a lot of damage, and he is a tanky boy, so do your big attack. That's a stagger. I don't like the sound of that. What plagues your mind, manager? How about you stop removing our sanity? Actually, no. Hate your shield. Get your shield out of here. Hate your shield. Get that shit out.
관리자, 수감자를 무방비하게 만들지 마십시오.
And I'm gonna have Faust heal our sanity here, because we're losing it for new. It's very funny how Faust is able to counter his sanity draining with her own ego. I think it's fitting too, because they're, you know, rivals. Ooh, your boy has a lot of bleed, don't ya? That's just the way I like it.
모든 결과들은 파우스트가 알아.
Strike! Your sanity. Stagger, don't like that. Good job, Rhodia. I think we dealt a decent amount of damage this turn. Well done, sinners. Well done indeed.
밖에서 막고 있는 꿀.
Dawn is staggered. That is no good.
관리자, 수감자를 무방비하게 만들지 마십시오.
Ooh, Rhodia has a hopeless clash in hands. Because he has 3 power down from... Ooh, that is no good. Rhodia, do your thing again then. There is nothing to do but to do that. Rock it and roll. Dismantle. Blast. One, 2, 3, 4. Love the attack. Yeah. Get rid of that shield. That follows up with a stagger. Throw your axe, Rhodia.
모든 걸
Wonder what the great sinner of the middle will be. Great sister. Oh, oh, it's gonna be Otia's kind of, but I hope we get to see her, because I think it will be a very interesting design once we actually get to see her. That is true staggers, but Hohenheim has entered his defense mode. Means we don't have to worry about taking damage. At least not that much.
커다란 벽이겠군.
Now, let's see what we can do here. Have we enough raw firepower to deal with his big shield right now? I think we do. Oh no, little German boy. Ah, that is not enough. Blocks up our SP. Alright. Alright, he's gonna trigger his extinction sequence. What can we do about that, I do wonder. Well, what we always do, we have Sinclair do the thing. I mentioned Matthias because she's a great middle. She's got to be strong. If you already saw how strong Matthias is. Yeah, great. Matthias is a great brother of the middle, but he's great only in name because he fucked up, you know? If he really wanted that damn sword. Strike it hidden. Attack.
남의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
That's enough to break your shield. And here comes the big attack that staggers us all. I think I saw a kill there too. That is bad. We lost the German boy. Now, please stop leeching off our sanity, Hohenheim. Thank you very much. Dub in, my boys. We're in a bit of a pickle here. Faust, our sinners are low sanity. You know what you got to do.
최근엔 성장하긴 한 모양이군.
Hopeless, hopeless, struggling. Oh, we are in a bad situation. Thankfully, we can avert the bad situation by winning simply. Gregor, you subbed in, and you're gonna sub in to give Hohenheim a slap that will knock him out of his senses. Please do that. Same for you, everyone. If you can, Ego Blast, Ego Blast. Cliff, you are the linchpin of this team. Keep doing your thing, please. Faust, I'm gonna have you clash against a skill instead of Gregor. Gregor just got back, so his skill is not doing too good. We're gonna go for Ryoshu, actually. There we go. So you don't need to Ego Blast him, you can just attack. Go!
금방 다녀올게.
Now Otis hit one enemy in the air and Faust is her skill tree the enemy that's still in the air. Hello?
모든 결과들은 파우스트가 알아요.
I love how they lose the Mao Altis when she loses a coin. She teleports the enemy up above and strikes them from there because it doesn't have the animation of throwing him into the air with a sword.
나만의 항해 방식.
All right, just a little bit more, boys. Body sack coming up.
너를 잊어도 반드시 되찾을 거다.
Shield is disabled, dealing direct damage now. That attack is going to stagger a lot of sinners, but we handle with what we have.
아,
Ooh.
저런 광대 노름은
Not a lot of power up, not a lot we can do here.
넋짓거리일 뿐입니다.
Let's just try and hit him.
당신에겐 커다란 벽이겠군.
Go,
금방
my sinners.
다녀올게.
On his stagger for the block, something we don't see very often, but it's always nice to see. Ah, my sanity stopped.
떼지 말아야 할 건.
All right, here we go. Same as before. We have everyone attacking jump in, all of your attacks, and the last one to clash will be using an eagle to make sure we win that clash. It is a favored run, but Faust can, do her thing. So here we go.
행동을 개시하는
Wonder how Cromer would feel about Rufo, and probably be best if the N-Corp probably has the ring. You know what? Actually, you make a good point. N-Corp probably is tight with the ring because if you consider how the Ring Academy was the place of pure white, and the only other place we have seen that is pure white from a Sinner's background is N-Corp from Merso, and the fact that N-Corp is prized to be a place with lots of academies, lots of institutions of learning. They're probably tight with the ring. Ring, oh ring! That is an AoE, that is always the last one to clash. Breakable AoEs are bad. Don't want bad things to happen to our sinners now, do we? Now, Heathcliff, we're counting on you, boy. It's unopposed. It has to be Faust. Well, Faust is as good as the next one. Go. And kill.
금방 다녀올게.
No, Cromer would get absolutely dismantled. Like, there is some arguments you can make for some of the bosses we have faced in the past as they are not fighters. But Cromer was, I guess, he was as young as Heathcliff. So there is that point we can, give her, that she was just in a high position, probably because of nepotism, if you think about it. Nice job, Ryoshi. That you aura farmed the hell out of him. So I assume Nick Cromer got into her position due to nepotism, and I guess the Inquisitors were kind of just incompetent because they don't have augmentations of any kind. They were trying to get like powerful stuff through ego corrosion, and I guess that's nice, but yeah. All right, we got true staggers and true subs. We're running out of sinners. This is a tough boss fight for the base sinners, but we're steadily, we're going at it. We're going at it. One attack is unaccounted for. It is going to kill Heathcliff. I do not want that to happen. So Gregor is going to limp in and be the hero. Who's going to get hit? It is Otis. Otis can take it. Alan from Wayfarer Company is an odd man. He is not that odd considering, well, the entirety of Limbus Company. He is a businessman, so anything that doesn't matter for the job, he doesn't give a shit. He really doesn't give a shit. Like, oh, you guys are talking about some stuff about your, you know, background. It's just, I don't care. I'm just here to map the corridor, so I'm not even gonna bother talking to you guys. Fuck you. Dagger from Fouls, compression on Otis, our sanity being drained, and another substitution. We are down to one sinner in the backup. But we're gonna get through this, I guarantee you. So even the way he punched Kira was considered strained. That was because he was using Wayfarer technology. He just leaped through, like they just portal punched her. Ah, we got a lot of low sinners here today, huh? Well, it is down to Heathcliff then. He's a low health, but I believe in him. I have faith in Heathcliff. We could always use, you know, this and have him become unkillable. He is very powerful and he deals a lot of wrath damage. Choices. Yeah, I don't want him to die, so Ira it is. On Heathcliff, please. Don't let him die. Rest of you, attack him, break down that shield before he can fire off that thing. It's probably not going to work, but we're going to try anyway. Here we go. Don't know if it's necessary to portal punch Kira. Again, you have to consider that for our morality in the real world doesn't really apply to the world of Limbus Company. From his point of view, from his company that he works with, it is normal to put your employees that speak up down, like remind them who is the boss, and he did exactly that. Of course, we like Kira because we saw that she got betrayed, but he does not know Kira. He does not give a shit about Kira. All he saw was this prisoner from Limbus Company talking out of line when he was supposed to be giving like information, and she wasn't. So he had to remind her that, hey, girl, you were a prisoner, and the moment you're no longer useful to Limbus Company, they're gonna kill you. So here's a nice reminder of that. Everybody hated that, of course, because we saw her getting punched in the face. But you also have to consider that in Limbus Company itself, Kira is probably not loved as well. Maybe the sinners like her, but Kira killed a bunch of researchers from LCE. Don't forget that. She literally joined in the raid of the Limbus Company Enkephalon department, the extraction department, and killed a bunch of people that were close to Hohenheim. She was with the group that was kind of directly responsible for the death of Martin and for how Elisa got wounded and for the death of a lot of other researchers that were tight with Hohenheim. Let's not forget that. Hohenheim might be warming up to her because he has a certain set of morals, but she is still responsible for the death of a lot of them. All those people that were turned into mannequins were people that Hohenheim at least, you know, knew. We're running out of sinners, and we're not breaking to his HP. This is bad. I don't think we're gonna be able to pass through the Hohenheim barrier today.
좋아, 간다.
She was revived mostly because, again, the K-Corp ampules that we used to revive her are very expensive in the world, and we only afford that because Limbus company is drowning in money because they have infinite money. Oh, I don't think we're gonna survive this, boys. Still, I'm not gonna extend the mirror dungeon any longer because we're already at the time limit. We are 3 hours. Oh shit! I forgot the base sinners are not that strong. They're good, they have powerful effect, but they're not that strong.
행동을 개시합니다.
So yeah, Kira was given something very excessively expensive to revive her because the sinners felt sorry for her because she was betrayed, but the stuff that was used to revive her is not even available to the LCE researchers. They are underfunded. And blast! He keeps getting more shields. And every time we hit his shield, we take more damage, which is less than optimal. So a lot of people do not like Kira and Limbus company, the company itself. Hohenheim might be warming up to her, and there's a lot of cool art about like her joining up Hohenheim and all that, which is cute. But again, remember, he killed a lot of people from Limbus company. So he is a prisoner, and the moment she's no longer useful, she is going to get either executed or thrown out into the streets without anyone to watch out for her. And from Alan's perspective, again, he was seeing a prisoner talking out of line, and instead of giving up information, because it's the only real reason why we're keeping her alive to begin with. Ooh, hopeless situation. How bad this is turning out to be.
좋아, 간다.
모든 무성무정 시전해봐야 굳이 없나 해도
The reason why people hate Alan, besides the the portal punch on Kira, which for some was uncalled for, is because we see things in the same morality as we apply to real life without considering the the context of the whole thing. Again, Kira's a prisoner. She was denying us information that we wanted, and for that, Alan, who is a company man, who does not give a shit about who she is. She doesn't even know her. So he doesn't care about like, oh, you guys kind of adopted her as your pet. That's cool and all, but where's the information that you were supposed to give us? And so if she was not cooperating, and as a prisoner, she reminded her of her place. And she wanted revenge, of course, but she was weakened and couldn't do anything. To make a tasteless comparison here, imagine if you are at school and there's a school shooter. Something that happens a lot in America, so I'm told. And then the school shooter gets captured, and then he joins your group, your project group, as someone that you have to, treat the same way instead of like being arrested. This boss is a bitch. I hate this boss. That's why I avoid his pack all the time, because he has a lot of blocks and shields and we can do anything about it.
좋아, 간다.
In any case, that would be the equivalent of Kira joining the LCE. The school shooter joins back at the school he just shot and killed a bunch of people with little to no repercussion. But because Limbus Company happens in the city, and the city is a fun little place,
먼저 처리해.
different things are gonna happen because she's a prisoner now. We're keeping her for information, but she didn't want to give up that information. Well, sorry, but you gotta go, buddy. Something like that. Something like that, Ghostface Man Shorts. Something like that. And again, Alan has been described as Dante, and by a lot of people, that he is a company man. He's not affiliated with Limbus Company at all, other than Wayfarer is working with Limbus Company. He's just there to do his job. He doesn't care about anything else but to do his job. His job is he's not being able to do his job because this girl is not giving information. Well, fuck you.
같이 상황을
Give me the information I want. I don't care about anything
해보기는
else.
할게요.
Of course, he stepped over a line there because that is not her prisoner. That's not Wayfarer's prisoner. And that's what Hohenheim was there to remind him of. By the way, if we fail this boss here, I'm not going to restart. Because we're already almost out of time. So let's just watch your sinners die gracefully.
저 풍진 세상으로.
길이 보이지 않을 정도는 아니군. 절망적이라고 생각되겠지만 분명 방법은 있을 것. 표정에 따라
They just hit damage there by accident.
수많은 것들이 옥죄어 온다.
Several staggers, several deaths coming right up. Just die gracefully, my sinners. Go on.
당신에겐 커다란
The worst part about this boss is the fact that his shield reflects some damage. I don't like that. You see that our health is slowly ticking down every time we hit him? That's his shield.
최선을 떼지 말아야 할 겁니다. 가장 먼저 처리해야 할 것이 가장 흉포한 송곳니를 드러내고 있으니까.
명령대로 하겠습니다.
Punch, 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 punch. And blast.
수감자를
Losing sinners and we're losing them fast.
당신만 괴로울 텐데.
Let's make those clashes a little bit more bearable.
돌리는 일에 너무 익숙해진 것 아닙니까?
Do you classify glitching an enemy NPC sprite to be a bug? Kinda, maybe. He moves in. If you don't notice, he moves in tone with the song. Pay attention.
좋아, 간다.
이상이 무엇이든
Stab him, you sang, make him weaker. Use that good ego of yours.
이 기회에
Here we go, here we go, here we go. We keep clashing, we keep winning. And if you can't win, well, we'll die gracefully again. We fight until the last man in Limbus Company, and then we bring back the last man and fight again. No, like I was doing a mirror dungeon, a rose spinner, enemy switch gotcha, and was stuck in that fight the whole fight. Ah, I had that happen too. But yeah, I consider that a bug. Maybe you can report it to gain, give everyone 300 lunacy. Ah, we're almost staggering him, but then there he goes and recovers all of his sanity, all of his shields. All right, go, my sinners. Ah, we exceeded the time. God damn it. Well, might as well lose the fight and just, you know, finish the dungeon. This took a long time. This took 3 hours. Holy shit, I didn't expect it to take 3 fucking hours. Right, here we go. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? Is Merso still alive? No, Merso has perished. Which is a shame. We could use that powerful eagle of his right now. 30 turns in and we're still here, yep. The sinners are not doing too well against a powerful boss like this. Again, there is a point of the game, there is a point at the game where they are no longer able to, yeah, Meditative would have destroyed him like 3 to 10 turns. The base sinners are capable, but they're not, like I said at the beginning of the stream, they're not some hidden powerful den that everybody being ignored. They're capable of doing things well, but certain bosses are going to screw them over. Because they don't have a lot of power. They don't have power escalation on their skills, aside from a few ones with a pathetic amount of power escalation. They simply do not have the application to get through his 300 shoots per turn kind of deal, you know? So we're just gonna die gracefully here because we are in maintenance mode, so fortunately it is what it is. He's gonna kill himself by just attacking. There we go. I'm gonna let my sinners do their thing. Go win, go die. There's nothing we can do here. There is a way to win against him with the base sinners. I know that, I've done that, but I'm not gonna bother. And again, I don't have the opportunity to do so because it's maintenance time. We took 3 hours doing this. We took an hour just talking about the sinners. Like I said, they're capable. They have some interesting passives. They have some interesting effects. But all in all, compared to recent IDs, they are simply not capable as recent IDs. They simply cannot keep up. I'm surprised that Yiseng is the last one to survive. There's the fact that because this fight is taking a long while because they don't have the power to keep up with his shield. We got a stagger! How incredible! Right? Go! You can't do that much damage, but we're gonna try. He also has a damage reflection skill, which is very bad for us. Again, we don't have enough damage to keep up with him. But can they do it? It's an eternity. I'm sorry, Moises. How about we get to the book right away? Because, well, we're already here, so let's just watch them die. They're already in the last legs here. This thing is gonna die soon, so. Oh, blue. Interesting. My arm had changed. Look at these survivors. Can Gregor beat? That would be poetic if Gregor beats him, being the potential man. Let's see. I want to watch this now. I want to see if Gregor can do it.
좋아, 간다.
단테 이제 끝장내야 할 겁니다. 무한한
If Gregor can do it, I'll be very pleased. Here's your potential, man. Here's the potential for me to kick your ass.
최선을 떼지 말아야 할 겁니다. 가장 먼저 처리해야 할 것이
좋아, 간다.
가장 흉포한 송곳니를 드러내고 있습니다. 내 팔은 뼈에 있었어.
Oh, this is gonna be poetic if it does. Don't think he'll be able to because there's still like a lot of shoot to go through. And you know the kicker, because we're in maintenance, this battle will not happen. You know why? Because the moment I leave the mirror dungeon here, to leave this fight, it's gonna hit me. We can't operate right now, and I'm gonna have to repeat the fight if I want to beat him.
타기할 수 있을지.
Oh, what a shame.
저런 광대 노름은
좋아,
Come on, Gregor. Come on, Gregor.
넝직거리는 뿐입니다만 당신에겐 커다란 병이군.
Oh, he broke the shield. He might actually be able to do it. Holy shit.
가장 먼저
Go, Gregor, grow.
가장 흉포한 송곳니를 드러내고
Is this guy weak to gloom? No, he's weak to green. I have no idea, Ghost Manifest Sharks.
좋아, 간다.
Oh no! He tanked it! Come on, Gregor, do it!
저런 광대 노름은 압도적인 힘 앞에서
좋아,
그저
간다.
It's not gonna end at 414 right now. It's very possible to get 414 with this river. It is! And we're gonna get that tomorrow as well. As soon as we're done out of Hohenheim Hell. Come on! Show us what you can do, potential boy. 45 rounds.
가장 먼저 처리해야 할 것이 가장 흉포한 송곳니를 드러내고 있으니까.
좋아, 간다.
Because of his passive from his own passive and the passive of his eagle, he has insane survivability as long as he's, you know, soloing. And he heals when he's skill 3 as well. Skill 3 or skill 2? One of the two. Oh my god, he's doing it.
걸레짝이 되어버린
Got it again. 300 shoot per turn reminds me of Mayors from the Arc Knights. Come on, potential man.
저런 광대 노름은 압도적인 힘
간다.
앞에서 그저 넝직거릴
Oh man, this is poetic. This is poetic. It took forever, but this is poetic down to a T. 9 HP.
최선을 떼지
And he
말아야
recovers 300 shield. Motherfucker.
가장 먼저 처리해야 할 것이 가장 흉포한 송곳니를 드러내고 있으니까.
He hasn't done it yet. It ain't over till it's over, boys. It ain't over till the fat leg screams.
내 팔은 변해 있었어.
Survived. Now I have to beat the shoot out of him. Here's your potential. The potential for me to kick your ass. He fucking did it. Took like a shit ton of turns and every single sinner dying, but he did it. And there we go. Service under schedule. We will be able to log in after this time. And his long, arduous, difficult battle was all but cancelled. What a shame. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been 3 hours. I'm gonna have to skip on today's book reading. I'm sorry, Moises. Would you be too mad at me if I skipped on the book reading? No, fuck me. I will read it. I am here. I will read it. I have the book open. We're gonna read it. Right. Last we stopped on Crime and Punish. Oh yes, and if you're here for gameplay only, it's time to go, my friends. We are gonna read our book. We're gonna do our nerd shit right now. We are gonna read Crime and Punishment. Chapter 6 now. Last time, Raskolnikov is discovered that the old moneylender is gonna be alone. And, well, he had swore to God that he was going to, you know, not do it, but now he learned that he's gonna be alone. So, I'm gonna read at least a little bit to say I did. Here we go. Chapter 6. Later on, Raskolnikov happened to find out why the huckster and his wife had invited Lizaveta. It was a very ordinary matter, and there was nothing exceptional about it. Family who had come to town and had been reduced to poverty were selling their household goods and clothes, all women's things. As the things would have fetched little in the market, they were looking for a dealer, and this was Lizaveta's business. She took up commissions, went around on business, and had many clients, as she was very honest and always fixed the best price and stuck to it. She spoke, as a rule, little, and we have said it already, she was so submissive and timid. But Raskolnikov had become superstitious recently. The traces of superstition remained in him long after, and were almost ineradicable. And in all this, he always afterwards disposed to see something strange and mysterious, as it were the presence of some peculiar influences and coincidences. In the previous winter, a student he knew called Pokorev, who had left for Kharkov, had chanced in conversation to give him the address of Alyona Ivanovna, the old pawnbroker, in case he might want to pawn anything. For a long while he did not go to her, for he had reasons and managed to get by somehow. 6 weeks ago, he had remembered the address. He had 2 articles that could be pawned, his father's old silver watch, and a little gold ring with 3 red stones, a keepsake from his sister at parting. He decided to take the ring. When he found the old woman, he had felt an unsurmountable repulsion for her at first glance, though he knew nothing special about her yet. He got 2 rubles from her and went into a miserable little tavern on his way home. He asked for tea, sat down, and sank into deep thought. A strange idea was pecking at his brain like a chicken in the egg, and very, very much absorbed him. Almost beside him at the next table there was sitting a student, whom he did not know, or remember at all, and with him a young officer. They had played a game of billiards, and began drinking tea. Suddenly, he heard the student mention to the officer the pawnbroker, Alyona Ivanovna, and gave him the address. This, of itself, seemed strange to Raskolnikov. He had just come from there, and here they were talking about her. By accident, of course, but there he is, unable to shake off a very extraordinary impression. And here someone seems to be speaking expressly for him. The student suddenly begins telling his friend various details about Alyona Ivanovna. "She is first-rate," he said. "You can always get money from her. She is as rich as a Jew. She can give you 5,000 at a time, but she is not above taking a pledge for a ruble. Lots of our fellows have dealings with her, but she is an awful old harpy." And he began describing how spiteful and capricious she was. How, if you were only a day late with your interest, the pledge was lost. Now she gave a quarter of the value of an article and took 5, and even 7% a month on it. So on. The student chattered on, saying that she had a sister, Lizaveta, whom the repulsive little creature was continually beating and kept in complete bondage like a small child, though Lizaveta was at least 6 feet tall. "There's a phenomenon for you," cried the student, and he laughed. They began talking about Lizaveta. The student spoke about her with a peculiar relish and was continually laughing, and the officer listened with great interest and asked him to send Lizaveta to do some mending for him. Raskolnikov did not miss a word and learned everything about her right away. Lizaveta was younger than the old woman and was her half-sister, being the child of a different mother. She was already 35. She worked day and night for her sister, and besides doing the cooking and the washing, she did the sewing and even hired herself out to wash floors and give her sister all she earned. She did not dare to accept an order or job of any kind without the old woman's permission. The old woman had already made her will, and Lizaveta knew of it, and by this she would get not a kopeck, nothing but the movable shares and so on. All the money, meanwhile, was left to a monastery in the province of N, that prayers might be said for her in perpetuity. Lizaveta was of lower rank than her sister, a collegiate assessor's wife, unmarried, and awfully uncouth in appearance, remarkably tall with long feet that looked as if they were bent outwards. She always wore a battered goatskin shoe and kept herself clean. What the student expressed most surprise and amusement about was the fact that Lizaveta was constantly pregnant. But you said she was ugly, observed the officer. Yes, and she's so dark-skinned and looks like a soldier dressed up. But you know, she's not at all ugly. She has such a kind face and eyes. Very much so. And the proof of it is that lots of people are attracted by her. She's such a meek, mild, gentle creature, always willing to do anything. Her smile is really very sweet. You seem to find her attractive yourself, laughed the officer. Because she's strange, no? I'll tell you what. I could kill that damned old woman and make off with her money, I assure you, with the faintest conscious prick. The student added hotly. The officer again burst out laughing while Raskolnikov shuddered. How strange it was. Listen, I want to ask you a serious question, the student said heatedly. I was joking, of course, but look here. On one side, we have a stupid, senseless, worthless, spiteful, ailing old woman. Not simply useless, but doing actual harm, who herself has no idea what she's living for, or who will die in a day or two in any case. You understand? You understand? Yes, I understand, answered the officer, watching his excited companion attentively. Well, listen then. On the other hand, fresh young lives thrown away in vain for lack of support, and by thousands on every side. 100, 1,000 good deeds and undertakings could be done and helped on that old woman's money, which will be buried in a monastery. Hundreds, thousands perhaps, might be set on the right path. Dozens of families saved from destitution, from corruption, from ruin, from vice, from venereal wards, and all with her money. Kill her, take her money, and with the help of it, devote yourself to the service of humanity and the common good. What do you think? Would not one tiny crime be wiped by thousands of good deeds? For one life, thousands will be saved from corruption and decay. One death, and 100 lives in exchange. It's simple arithmetic. Besides, what value has the life of that sickly, stupid, ill-natured old woman in the balance of existence? No more than the life of a louse or a cockroach, less in fact because the old woman is doing harm. She is wearing out the lives of others. The other day, she bit Lizaveta's finger out of spite. It almost had to be amputated. Of course, she does not deserve to live, remarked the officer. But there it is, it's nature. Oh well, brother, but we have to correct and direct nature, but for that we'll drown in an ocean of prejudice. But for that, there would never have been a single great man. They talk of duty, conscience. I don't want to say anything against duty and the conscience, but the point is, what do we mean by that? Wait, I have another question to ask you. Listen. No, you wait. I'll ask you a question. Listen. Well, you're talking and speechifying away, but tell me, would you kill the old woman yourself or not? Oh, of course not. I was only arguing for the justice of it. It's nothing to do with me. But I think it would not do it yourself, then there's no justice in it. Let's have another game. Raskolnikov was extremely agitated. Of course, it was all very ordinary and very frequent youthful talk and thoughts, such as he had often heard before, only in different forms and on different themes. But why had he happened to hear just such a discussion and such ideas at the very moment when his own brain was just conceiving the very same ideas? And why, just at the moment when he had brought away the embryo of his idea from the old woman, had he happened upon a conversation about her? This coincidence always seemed strange to him. This trivial talk in a tavern had an immense influence on him as the action developed further, as though there had really been it something preordained, some guiding hint. When he returned from the Haymarket, he flung himself on the sofa and sat for a whole hour without stirring. Meanwhile, it got dark. He had no candle, and indeed it did not occur to him to light up. He could never recollect whether he had been thinking about anything at the time. At last he was conscious of his former fever, shivering, and realized with relief that he could lie down on the sofa. Some heavy, leaden sleep came over him, as though crushing him. He slept an extraordinarily long time, and without dreaming, Nastasia, coming into his room at 10 o'clock the next morning, had a hard time wake him. She brought him tea and bread. The tea was again the second brew and again in her own teapot. "My goodness, how he sleeps!" she cried indignantly. "Sleeping and sleeping!" He got up with an effort. His head ached. He stood up, took a turn in his little room, and sank back on the sofa again. "Going to sleep again?" cried Nastasia. "Are you ill, He made no reply. "Do you want some tea?" "Ah, later," he said with effort, closing his eyes again and turning to the wall. Nastasia stood over him. "Perhaps he really is ill," she said, turned and went out. Came in again 2 o'clock with soup. He was lying as before. The tea stood untouched. Nastasia felt positively offended and began angrily rousing him. "Why are you lying like a log?" she shouted, looking at him with reproach. He got up and sat down again, but said nothing and stared at the floor. "Are you ill or not?" asked Nastasia, and again received no answer. "You'd better go out and get a breath of fresh air," said after a pause. "Will you eat it or not?" "Ah, later," said weakly. "You can go." He motioned her out. She remained a little longer, looked at him with compassion, and went out. A few minutes later, he raised his eyes and looked for a long while at the tea and the soup. Then he took the bread, took up a spoon, and began to eat. He ate a little, 3 or 4 spoonfuls, without appetite, as it were mechanically. His head ached less after his meal. He stretched himself on the sofa again, but now he could not sleep. He lay without stirring, with his face in the pillow. He was haunted by daydreams, and such strange daydreams. In one that kept recurring, he imagined that he was in Africa, in Egypt, in some sort of oasis. The caravan is resting, the camels are peacefully lying down, the palms stand all around in a complete circle, everyone is eating dinner, but he is drinking water straight from a spring which flows gurgling close by. And it is so cool, and such wonderful, wonderful blue cold water is running among the colored stones and over the clean sand which glistens here and there like gold. Suddenly, he heard a clock strike. He started, roused himself, raised his head, looked out the window, and seeing how late it was, suddenly jumped up, wide awake, as though someone had pulled him off the sofa. He crept on tiptoe to the door, stealthily opened it, and began listening on the staircase. His heart beat terribly, but all was quiet on the stairs, as everyone was asleep. It seemed to him strange and monstrous that he could have slept in such forgetfulness from the previous day, and had done nothing, had prepared nothing yet. And meanwhile, perhaps it had struck 6, and his drowsiness and stupefaction were followed by an extraordinary, feverish, as it were distracted, haste. But the preparations to be made were few. He concentrated all his energies on thinking on everything and forgetting nothing, and his heart kept beating and thumping so that he could hardly breathe. First, he had to make a noose and sew it into his overcoat, a work of a moment. He rummaged under his pillow and picked out amongst the linen stuffed away under it a completely worn-out, old, unwashed shirt. From its rags, he tore a long strip, a couple of inches wide and about 16 inches long. He folded the strip in 2, took off his wide, sturdy summer overcoat of some thick cotton material, his only outer garment, and began sewing the 2 ends of the rag on the inside. Under the left armhole, his hands shook as he sewed, but he prevailed, and so well that nothing showed on the outside when he pulled the coat on again. He had got the needle and thread ready long before, and they lay on his table in a piece of paper. As for the noose, it was a very ingenious device of his own. The noose was intended for the axe. He couldn't very well carry the axe through the stairs in his hands, and if it hid there under his coat, he would still have to support it with his hand, which would have been noticeable. Now he had only to put the head of the axe in the noose, and would hang quietly under his arm on the inside. Putting his hand in his coat pocket, he could hold the end of the handle all the way so that it did not swing. and as the coat was very full, a regular sack in fact, it could not be seen from the outside that he was holding something with the hand that was in the pocket. This news too he had designed 2 weeks before. When he had finished with this, he thrust his hand into the little opening between his Turkish sofa and the floor, fumbled in the left corner, and pulled out the pledge, which he had got already ready long before he hid it there. This pledge was, however, not a pledge at all, but only a smoothly planned piece of wood the size and thickness of a silver cigarette case. He picked up this piece of wood in one of his wanderings in a courtyard where there was some sort of workshop. Afterwards, he had added to the wood a thin, smooth piece of iron, some fragment, probably, which he had also picked up in the same time in the street. Putting the iron piece, which was a little smaller, on the piece of the wood, he fastened them very firmly, crossing and recrossing the thread around them, then wrapped them carefully and daintily in clean white paper and tied up the parcel so that it would be very difficult to untie it. This was in order to divert the attention of the old woman for a time, while she was trying to undo the knot, and so to gain a moment. The iron strip was added to give it weight, so that the woman might not immediately guess that the thing was made out of wood. All this had been stored by him beforehand under the sofa. He had only just gotten the pledge out when suddenly he heard someone shouting in the yard. "It struck 6 long ago! Long ago, my God!" He rushed to the door, listened, grabbed his hat, and began to descend his starting steps cautiously, noiselessly, like a cat. He had still the most important thing to do, to steal the axe from the kitchen. That the deed must be done with an axe he had decided long ago. He had also a pocket pruning knife, but he could not rely on the knife and still less on his own strength, and so resolved finally on the axe. We may note in passing one peculiarity in regard to all the final resolutions taken by him in the matter. They had one strange characteristic. The more final they were, the more hideous and the more absurd they at once became in his eyes. In spite of all his agonizing inward struggle, he never, for a single instant, all that time could believe in the carrying out of his plans. And indeed, if it had ever happened that everything to the least point could have been considered and finally settled, and no uncertainty of any kind had remained, he would, it seems, have renounced it all as something absurd, monstrous, and impossible. But a whole heap of unsettled points and uncertainties remained. As for getting the axe, that trifling business cost him no anxiety, for nothing could be easier. Anastasia was continually out of the house, especially in the evenings. She would run into the neighbor's apartments or to a store, and always left the door ajar. It was the one thing that the landlady was always scolding her about. And so when the time came, he would only have to go quietly into the kitchen and to take the axe, and an hour later, when everything was over, go in and put it back again. But there was doubtful points too. Supposing he returned an hour later to put it back, and Anastasia had come back and was on the spot, he would of course have to go by and wait until she went out again. But supposing she were in the meantime to miss the axe, start looking, make an outcry, that would mean suspicion, or at least grounds for suspicion. But those were all trifles which he had not even begun to consider, and indeed he had no time. He was thinking of the chief point, and put off trifling details until he could believe in it all. But that seemed utterly unattainable, so it seemed to him at least he could not imagine, for instance, that he would sometimes stop thinking, get up, and simply go there. Even his recent experiment, his visit with the intention of conducting a final survey of the place, was simply an attempt at an experiment. Far from being the real thing, as though one should say, "Come, let us go and try it, why dream about it?" And at once he had broken down and had run away cursing, furious with himself. Meanwhile, it would have seen as regards the moral question that his analysis was complete. His casuistry had become keen as a razor, and he could no longer find conscious objections in himself. But in the end, he simply ceased to believe in himself and doggedly, slavishly sought arguments in all directions, fumbling for them, as though someone were forcing and drawing him to it. This last day, however, which had come so unexpectedly, deciding everything at once, had an almost completely mechanical effect on him, as though someone took him by the hand and started pulling with unnatural force, irresistibly, blindly, without his objections. It was as though a part of his clothing had gotten caught in the wheel of a machine, and he was being drawn into it. At first, long before, in fact, he had been extremely occupied by a single question. Why are almost all crimes so badly concealed and so easily detected, and why do almost all criminals leave such obvious traces? He had come gradually to many different and curious conclusions, and in his opinion, the chief reason lay not so much in the material impossibility of concealing the crime as in the criminal himself. Almost every criminal is subject to a failure of will and reasoning power by a childish and phenomenal heedlessness. At the very instant when reason and caution are most essential, it was his conviction that this eclipse of reason and failure of willpower attacked a man like a disease, developed gradually and reached its highest point just before the perpetration of the crime, continued with equal violence at the moment of the crime and for a longer or shorter time after, according to the individual case, and then passed off like any other disease. The question whether the disease gives rise to the crime or whether the crime, due to its own peculiar nature, is always accompanied by something like a disease, he did not yet feel able to decide. When he reached these conclusions, he decided that in his own case there could not be such morbid reversals, that his reason and will would remain unimpaired at the time of carrying out his design, for the simple reason that his design was not a crime. We will omit all the process by means of which he arrived at this last conclusion. We have run too far ahead already. We may add only that the practical, purely material difficulties of the affair occupied an altogether secondary position in his mind. So long as one keeps all one's willpower and reason to deal with it, they will all be overcome at the time when once one has familiarized oneself with the minutest details of the business. But the business wouldn't begin. His final decisions were what he continued to trust least, and when the hour struck, it all turned out quite differently, as it were accidentally and even unexpectedly. One trifling circumstance upset his calculations. Before he had even left the staircase, when he reached the landlady's kitchen, wide open as usual, he glanced cautiously in to see whether in Anastasia's absence the landlady herself was there, or if not, whether the door to her own room was closed, so that he might not peep out when he went in for the axe. To his amazement, however, he suddenly saw that Anastasia was not only at home in the kitchen this time, but was even occupied there, taking linen out of a basket and hanging it on a line. Seeing him, she stopped hanging the clothes, turned to him, and stared at him all the time he was passing. He turned away his eyes and walked past, though he noticed nothing. But it was the end of everything. There was no axe. He was overwhelmed. What made me think? He reflected, and went under the gateway. What made me think that she would be sure not be at home at that moment? Why did I assume this so certainly? He was crushed, and even humiliated. He could have laughed at himself in his anger. A dull animal rage boiled within him. He stood hesitating in the gateway. To go into the street, to go for a walk for appearance sake was revolting. To go back to his room, even more revolting. And what a chance I have lost forever, he muttered, standing aimlessly in the gateway, just opposite the porter's little dark room, which was also open. Suddenly he started. From the porter's room, 2 paces away from him, something shiny under the bench to the right caught his eye. He looked about him. Nobody. He approached the room on tiptoe, went down 2 steps into it, and in a faint voice called the porter. Yes, not at home, somewhere near though, in the yard, for the door is wide open. He dashed to the axe. It was an axe, and pulled it out from under the bench, where it lay between 2 chunks of wood. At once, before going out, he secured it on the noose, thrust both hands into his pockets, and went out of the room. No one had noticed him. Reason fails, the devil helps, he thought with a strange grin. This incident raised his spirits extraordinarily. He walked along quietly and sedately, without hurry, to avoid awakening suspicion. He scarcely looked at the passers-by, even tried to escape looking at their faces at all, and to be as little noticeable as possible. Suddenly he thought of his hat. Good heavens, I had the money the day before yesterday and did not get a cap to wear instead. A curse rose from the bottom of his soul. Glancing out the corner of his eyes into a store, he saw by a clock on the wall that it was 10 minutes past 7. He had to hurry up, and at the same time to make a detour so as to approach the house roundabout from the other side. When he happened to imagine all this beforehand, he had sometimes thought that he would be very much afraid. But he was not very much afraid now, not afraid at all. In fact, his mind was even occupied by irrelevant matters, but by nothing for long. As he passed the Yusupov garden, he was deeply absorbed in considering the building of the great fountains, and of their refreshing effect on the atmosphere in all the squares. Little by little, he arrived at the conviction that if the summer garden were extended to all of the marked fields, and perhaps even join into the garden of the Mikhailovsky Palace, it would have been a splendid thing and a great benefit to the town. Then he suddenly became interested in the question of why all great townsmen are not simply driven by necessity, but in some peculiar way inclined to live in those parts of the town where there are no gardens nor fountains, where there is filth and stench and all sorts of nastiness. Then his own walks through the Haymarket came back to his mind, and for a moment he woke up to reality. What nonsense, he thought. Better think of nothing at all. So probably men led to execution clutch mentally at every object that meets them on the way. Flashed through his mind, but simply flashed, like lightning. He himself quickly extinguished this thought, and by now he was near. Here was the house. Here was the gate. Suddenly a clock somewhere struck once. What? Can it be 7:30? Impossible! It must be fast. Luckily for him, everything went well again at the gates. What's more, at the very moment, as though on purpose, a huge cart of hay had just driven in at the gate, completely serening him as he passed under the gateway, and the cart had scarcely had time to drive through the yard before he had slipped in a flash to the right. On the other side of the cart, he could hear several voices shouting and quarreling, but no one noticed him, and no one passed him. Many windows looking into the huge quadrangular yard were open at that moment, but he did not raise his head. He did not have the strength. The staircase leading to the old woman's room was close by, but just on the right of the gateway. He was already on the stairs. Catching his breath, pressing his hand against his throbbing heart, and once more feeling for the axe and setting it straight, he began softly and cautiously ascending the stairs, listening every minute. But the stairs, too, were quite deserted at the time. All the doors were shut. He met no one after all. It is true that one apartment on the first floor was wide open and painters were at work in it, but they did not glance at him. He stood still, thought a minute, and went on. Of course, it would be better if they had not been here, but it's 2 floors above them. And there was the 4th floor. Here was the door. Here was the apartment opposite, the empty one. On the 3rd floor, the apartment underneath the old woman was apparently empty also. The visiting card nailed on the door had been torn off. They had moved out. He was out of breath. For one instant, the thought flashed through his mind. When I leave? But he made no answer and began listening to the old woman's door. A dead silence. Then he listened again on the staircase, listened long and intently. Then looked about him for the last time, pulled himself together, and drew himself up, and once more tried the axe in the noose. Am I very pale? He wondered. Am I too agitated? She is distrustful. Had I better wait a little longer, till my heart stops thumping? But his heart would not stop thumping. On the contrary. As though on purpose, it throbbed more and more and more. He could stand it no longer. Slowly put out his hand to the bell and rang. Half a minute later, he rang again, more loudly. No answer. To go on ringing was useless and out of place. The old woman was, of course, at home, but she was suspicious and alone. He had some knowledge of her habits, and once more he put his ear to the door. Either his senses were peculiarly keen, it is difficult to suppose, or the sound was really very distinct. But at any rate, he suddenly heard something like the cautious touch of a hand on the lock, and the rustle of a skirt at the very door. Someone was standing quietly close to the lock, and just as he was doing on the outside, was stealthily listening within, and also, it seemed, had her ear to the door. He moved a little on purpose and muttered something aloud so as not to give the impression that he was hiding, then rang a 3rd time, but quietly, soberly, and without impatience. Recalling it afterwards, that moment stood out in his mind vividly, distinctively, forever. He could not make out how he had such a cunning, especially since his mind was, as it were, clouded at the moments and he was almost unconscious of his body. An instant later, he heard the latch unfastened. And we are stopping here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, how do you enjoy? We're finally getting to the big thing. In any case, if you enjoyed the stream, please recommend it to your friends. And if you didn't, recommend it to your enemies. Thank you all so much for sticking by, and sweet kisses, and goodbye. Until tomorrow, where we get the Extreme Mirror Dungeon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.